You guys did?
Howdy, folks. Welcome to Adventures in Albaron Courts of Everest. I am Joe Treff, your DM this evening and most. And joining me are my friends Matt, Vincent, Kara, Hannah, and Alana. Tina is not with us this evening, but will be hopefully rejoining us next week. We're going to play some D&D tonight. But before we do, a couple of quick announcements. Give me 1 second to shift the music to something a little bit more lively. Forgot to change it out of
for announcements,
kind of lobby music. No, here we'll go with a nice classic here. A couple of quick announcements before we get started. Last night we played Mosaic Team 5, our original Starfinder campaign. It was a lot of combat, a lot of lights, a lot of cool stuff. Very interesting. I'm very happy with the battle map and the way that it came out.
That was awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And so we actually began in combat and we ended in combat, but two very different combats. To see that when it re-airs, it will re-air on YouTube at Albaron RPG on Sunday at noon, followed by this at 4:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're also at Albaron RPG on social media. We have a website, albaronrpg.com, which has updated player profiles and character profiles for everybody in the Wandering Hearts. And then I think that's all the announcements that I have. And so without further ado, we're going to play this session of Quartz.
All the faces are so serious.
You're welcome.
I'm sorry, I should. Okay.
That's okay. I can get us right into our recap.
Oh,
I need that.
everyone's really at their best.
What did it showcase?
Nothing.
Okay. Wandering Hearts. Last we played, you entered the Candlestick Forest by way of travel by plants to a massive juniper with wounds that wept sap thick with insects of some kind. Billy cast non-detection on themselves, suddenly aware of the fact that something had been hovering around them, observing them for such a long time that it had dulled their senses otherwise. You pushed to the edge of the clearing, seeing that the mist grew thick just a few feet within. You also saw winking lights that drifted like carried lanterns before disappearing and reappearing a little further along. Valis, for the first time, you received a call from Hearson, who sounded to be at a party.
All went great.
It seemed as if they were curious as to why they could not see you. Almost immediately after, Billy had cast non-detection. But
weird.
you said that things were under control. You couldn't quite remember why you had called, it seemed. And so, bid Hearson adieu. Billy. You asked Billy for some advice about what to do as you were all coming upon some hags, and Billy seemed to be familiar with this kind of foe. Billy warned you not to follow anyone before leading you all into the woods. You walked for a time before realizing, after almost 2 hours, that you just walked in circles as you happened upon your own tracks, in addition to ones that belonged to a herongon moving lightly across the mud. Minka proudly produced chalk, which you could use to mark the trees as you traveled. The mist seemed to force you to double back on yourself, but Alina, you had the insight to realize that whoever was controlling the mist seemed to realize what you were doing, and changed its strategy. You began to travel due north, the direction that you wished to go. Before too long, you came upon a ring of stones piled into the shapes of humans arranged in a perfect ring. To see better, Minka, you cast Destroy Water. In the center of this very particularly laid out circle, clearing the entire thing and activating a number of runes and glyphs that revealed it to be a Fey circle. Oakermane, this huge treant, indicated that it could be used for transportation to the Feywild or to the Shadowfell, and to be cautious as casting magic within can activate it. At this point, you were ambushed by a huge reptilian green creature with bulbous eyes and toxic talons. Alina took to the air to look for the source of arrows, but Rez was felled relatively quickly by. Minka was charged by the reptilian being, but Valis intercepted, allowing both Minka and Alina to escape the creature's range. Billy slid underneath the original attack and drew their flaming rapier across this flesh to score a deep wound. You learned, both Minka and Valis, that this creature seemed to be able to inflict some kind of a disease through its attacks, but Valis, with lay on hands, it was no match for you. Alina was finally able to overwhelm the creature with a massive eldritch blast that briefly cast her in a more autumnal appearance. But as the battle dies down, and as a few of you draw in elements of your surroundings, Minka looking at some of the arrows, that is where we begin the scene. Just one moment.
Love that word, autumnal.
That's me, but only for a second. And then it went away.
Should really actually write notes and not just Ori's inner monologue.
It's fine. Go back to the cow page.
That's
I like the cow page.
That's why last week they were like, "Oh man, Matt's so mad because his notes are here. They're really gonna help us." And I was like, "I don't know how helpful it'll be."
Insight on they sussy.
They sussy. God, I hate that so much.
And I put the little fucking the shiny thing so I would remember. What the fuck am I thinking of?
What does it say?
It says insight on they sussy.
So actually, weirdly enough, I can shed some insight into that. You wanted to ask a couple members of your party about some things.
I did.
Yes.
Yeah.
Insight on they sus.
I knew that, but I don't think. But that's,
I'm pretty sure that's what that. Oh no, that would have to be before. Yeah.
I mean, there's. I think I do.
Wandering Hearts.
Yeah.
You all stand amongst the cottonwood trees, the small junipers, and the various elements that kind of you can make out before it disappears into mist off in the distance. And you can see a few of these little lights winking and reappearing off a little bit further along their path. Oakermane stands with all of you, this huge oaken treant. Are you going to continue to walk towards this hill, or are you doing something else prior?
I would like to do as thorough an investigation of this clearing as I can, staying out of the Fey Circle,
Okay.
but I'm looking around to see if the waistcoat is anywhere around.
Okay. Make a
checking.
investigation check.
Yeah.
While Alina begins to look around, is anybody else doing anything?
Billy would want to investigate the Fey Circle just to make sure it's like inactive.
It's certainly not inactive. Make an Arcana check as you get closer.
16.
16. With the 16, as you look around, you already saw that Minka had retrieved a gem of some kind from the body of that creature that attacked you. Minka is also holding some arrows that were picked up off the ground. There's not a lot else. And as you get closer to this circle, and you avoid it very pointedly, there is no waistcoat that you see. But as you watch Billy walk over, you can see Billy examining these glowing runes. Some are inactive, some glow with this inner green. Maybe it's close by, you know? Billy, what was your check? There are some Fey circles that might glow when inactive, and so it's hard to tell. The elements of Sylvan here speak of the Feywild, they speak of the Shadowfell, but it's almost intentionally left incomplete, such that you really have to be the being that made this to know how to activate it appropriately. You can see elements of it are glowing, and so whatever Minka did at least kicked it off.
It's okay. I think Minka broke it.
Yeah. That's it.
What?
I think that's a good thing.
I thought you meant like tear into like the, you know like when you go through a portal and it goes whooshy. I thought you meant like maybe it like I broke it like it was gonna whoosh out.
Wouldn't that be like the opposite of it being broken? Wouldn't that isn't that functional?
No, but like when you go through a portal, it goes to a very specific place. But there would be like you know.
Oh, it would whoosh instead.
You would just like you try to go through it to where you want it to go, but it wouldn't be the right place.
Like when
Okay.
you picked up
Yeah.
the
No, I get it.
stone.
Valis.
Sending stone.
Okay. You press the little sigil. It glows a couple of times, and then abruptly it goes completely bright, and you can hear in the distance from this stone, just one moment, I'm terribly sorry. Valis, are you okay?
Yes, we would like your advice. We have found what seems to be a Fey circle within the Candlestick Forest. We think-
Valis, please listen.
I'm listening.
I'm at a very important event that I am at entirely for you. In order to obtain this information, if you have anything else to say, let's do it in this conversation. Go on.
None of the rest of us can
We're
hear.
trying to figure out. Do we need to activate this Fey circle to find the waistcoat?
What Fey Circle?
We have found a Fey circle.
Don't do anything with the Fey Circle. You're there for a very particular reason. And I only sent you there because you all intended to go to Minka's home. If you wish to go there, I would stay clear of that circle.
Okay. Thank you. That was the advice that I wanted. I wasn't sure if the waistcoat would be within the Fey circle.
Almost certainly there's something beyond. But they're dangerous, Valis.
Okay.
Ask him where the waistcoat is. Hey, is that Hearsome? Does he want to talk to me?
Valis, are you okay?
Ask him where the waistcoat is.
Valis?
Lena has a
Oh.
question for you. She's asking if you know where the waistcoat is.
Yeah, like specifically.
Specifically within these forests.
No.
He does not. But not within the Fey circle.
It was last seen with the former champion, and so presumably where the hags are, you will find this as well.
Thank you, Hearsome.
Are you sure? There is nothing else that you wish to ask?
He's really regretting giving us his personal cell phone number.
I cannot think of anything at the moment.
Very well. Good luck, Valis. And the stone goes silent.
That's why he gets along with the prayer beads so well.
I don't think what we're looking for is within the Fey circle. Hearsome advised us to not activate it, and whatever we're looking for would be in these forests, not wherever the Fey circle would take us.
It's a good thing it's broken.
While this is all happening, given my understanding of terrain,
Okay.
knowing that this is there any way
Yep, that's
to
terrain.
know what the, like, we've definitely taken a roundabout illusory path in some way.
Perhaps.
Would my wayfinding be able to assist given how far we've come? Or is it like there's got to be another way besides this Fey circle, but if we keep walking, are we going to end up running in circles again?
Make an insight check.
Um, 21.
Ori, a long time ago, back in Crimshale, you had a tutor, and this tutor was not particularly an individual that was kind to you. And one of their methods of teaching was really to essentially almost make you lost. And you had to find your way. And in a way, there is some element of that is what this feels like. It's like this is being done with a purpose. It's not that you're going nowhere, and you note that you haven't doubled back, you haven't seen your chalk drawings in some time, and there's a finite amount of forest. But almost certainly right now you're being led, and you would need to shift your strategy to stop that.
Given my understanding of that, would I know or have some inkling of what their purpose would be to be leading us in this way, or how we could not do that?
With the 21, it's tough because you're getting a little tired now.
Right,
You've
and I
been
feel like
here
that's
for a bit,
an
and then it
obvious
dawns on you
Yeah.
that, yeah, the longer that you spend here,
Right.
the
They're just
likelier
wearing
it
us
is that you'll have to sleep.
Yeah. So they're just wearing us down. And what are the alternatives to not being worn down by them? taking shifts in the ring?
I can't yet pull anybody else into the ring unless you're a dead body.
Kill one of us.
We do not have
Stick
any
us
diamonds.
in the ring.
If you find
The
a
most
whole...
expensive way to count.
I wonder. Totally irrelevant, but how would feign death work in that situation?
I'd have to really look at it, but I don't think it
can
would.
bring in objects.
Yeah, it would work.
And when Billy died, we decided
You're-
that a dead
well, because
body
you're
was an
still
object,
you're basically down. So
Yeah,
you're
but
not
feign
dead.
death is not dead. Yeah.
You're getting incapacitated and statistically dead, but
you have to be like
But
a
you're not
lifeless
dead.
object.
right. Yeah.
Yeah.
No soul.
That
No
makes
soul.
sense.
None.
Like a statue or
We
something.
should keep moving.
Well, what's
Which
to
way?
what end?
We're gonna go up on the hill, right? Because it was above the mists.
It was as good an idea as any.
It's as good a destination as any, with a place with no other destination that we can think of.
At the very least, it'll get us out of it a little bit. Maybe by being in the mists, we've been
We're just being led
clouded
exactly
somehow.
where they want us to go.
Well, I'm
It's
not
the
that
same
good
as
at
following.
chess.
You said never follow anyone. By taking their path, we're following them.
I don't understand the logic there.
How do we not take their path? They put us on the path. Like they just change stuff around.
Is there like a different direction I can just start walking in and see what happens?
Is there a different direction?
So if you go in, so if you think about the idea of a circle,
right, but
if you there's a bunch of different degrees that you could
actually
choose.
we're on a sphere, presumably.
Yes, but in terms of the kind of plane in which you exist, you kind of need to choose a direction to walk. And so
Right.
from anywhere from the north part of the spectrum to the south part of the spectrum, you can choose different directions.
We're trying to head north. North right now has this hill.
No, that's
No,
west.
we would have to turn
due
west
west
for it.
right now.
Yeah.
You have been traveling like northwest roughly this whole time. You've gotten to the point now where it is due west.
I'm walking north.
Okay.
Wait, Ori.
What? We're
Why are
supposed
you
to be
doing
going
this?
north. Because I'm sick of following them around.
We're not following them around. We
We're
intended to go
looking for
north.
them.
We've been going north.
Yeah.
Well, we're going west now.
Well, yeah, we are choosing
We
to
thought
go
it
west.
might be a good idea, but
We might be able to see something from the higher elevation.
yeah.
Also, Okamine's a lot
Rest
taller than the rest of us, so he might.
What's Okerman up to right now?
Okerman is on guard, and in this like kind of position, he is like kind of walking over, and you can see like peering at the phase circle, making sure that like nothing is coming out. You can see he like looks, he gets really low down to like look at the runes, and then like walks off and looks off in the other direction.
So good.
How about we just vote on it right now and head in that direction, because we don't.
We haven't chosen destination, and we should continue there regardless.
But yeah, I'm with you.
West?
West.
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 Okay.
Sorry, Ori.
We're still tied together, right?
No.
We have loops.
Yeah.
Okay.
Presumably, we undid the loops in order to fight.
We have like
We
a
never
rope
explicitly
with
said that we did.
handles.
You have like you did this after the combat itself.
Yeah.
You guys tied each
Oh,
other
right.
to make like a kind of rope as it got a little thicker. You're still tied together presumably, but it's if you want, you can be like, hey, this is a dumb idea, and just change it so that you're holding loops instead. That's easy.
I'm gonna be like,
It gets like caught in your horn, but you pull it off and no problem.
I don't know why I did this.
They want to separate us, and they want to make us sleepy. I don't know about you, but I get especially tired when I'm sitting down in a dim, darkly lit area, doing nothing.
I don't think anybody's suggesting that we do nothing.
What do you want to do, Billy?
I want to go west.
Okay. Let's go west then.
Okay.
Going west?
1,000 feet is
One longer than 999.
yes, but
How many football fields?
it's like I forget how many feet are in a mile. It's like some
Like
stupid amount.
5,000.
Right.
5,200 and something, I think.
Yeah.
Or
Right?
something.
Right.
I don't know.
It's a purple number.
For miles,
It is
a
about
mile is
3 football
5,000.
About 3
5,280. I was real close.
Okay, so
We did it together. I said and 80.
Yeah, there you go.
Our powers combined.
I brought locate object
Me too.
to eventually hopefully try to find the actual waistcoat. Because actually, you know what? Once we are further away from the phase circle, so I know for sure I am not going to activate the phase circle by accident. Nika's gonna kind of focus on the description of the waistcoat, as much as we know about it, that it's like a object from Cernunnos, magical waistcoat. I have the name written down somewhere, and see if I can sense it anywhere.
Okay. The range is 1,000 feet.
1,000 feet. It'll last for 10 minutes, so I'll hold it for the whole 10 minutes if I can while we're walking west.
Second here.
Yeah, the waistcoat of the Nightmare Rider.
Can locate the nearest object of a particular kind, such as a certain kind of apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, or weapon.
The spell can locate a specific object known to you as long as you've seen it up close, within 30 feet. So I haven't, but waistcoats.
It's been described.
Yeah, so just
Alternatively-
generally waistcoats?
I mean, how many waistcoats could there possibly be in this
Is anyone in this group currently wearing a waistcoat?
I'm not.
Cheshire is...
I don't really
two.
know what a waistcoat is.
It's a bad
You're not, yeah.
Wait,
Is it-
Cheshire's wearing a waistcoat?
Yeah, there's a waistcoat under the big over floofy dress thing. There's, Cheshire's got layers going on.
I've got sleeves.
Do you have a waistcoat?
So
I've got sleeves.
I'm gonna see if I can sense a waistcoat that's
What about
not
like a
underneath.
magical waistcoat?
I don't know if I can
Is that
specify.
is that something she can specify?
It's a
Object of
particular
particular
kind. I think, unfortunately, because it lists apparel, jewelry, furniture, tool, and weapon, those are all object classes within the actual objects themselves. Yes, Kara?
Magical waistcoat? Does that count?
Literally just said that.
So, I mean,
Alright.
I don't think so, again,
Unfortunately,
because...
Billy Cheshire, we're gonna have to have you take off your waistcoat so we can burn them, or put sleeves on them, or something that make them not a waistcoat.
Do I have a sewing? I think I've got a sewing kit. Hold on. How long does it take for me to sew some sleeves on?
Okay. Maybe if it doesn't make sense to use it on the waistcoat, maybe we can think about what kind of object the hags might have in their possession and look for that instead.
While we're walking west, Minka's gonna think very hard about an object
Does
that would make sense to think about to use locate object on.
Does Billy know like a unique object that some sleepy time hags might have?
Hannah knows, but
Make an Arcana check.
doesn't know. Hannah has a great idea, but Alina doesn't know it.
That's a 14.
14. Actually, you could roll this at advantage. I don't know what I'm thinking.
That's a 16.
16. Okay. With a 16, there are a couple of different things. First of all, in terms of like the way that hags do things, magic is a little bit different. Magic, for most people, in the way that it works, is a very subtle and somewhat artistic manipulation of something known as the weave. When hags do magic, it is more of a steady vibration that slowly frays the weave itself and affects things in that way. And so typically hags have to have reagents in certain quantities. They have to be in a particular place for a certain amount of time. There's usually a ritual circle involved. And so you could think about components that might be involved in any of those things. You think about the fact that these hags are looking for something called heartwood. And if they are collecting something like that, that might be something that you could look at. And then finally, with the 16, that's probably, aside from just like personal effects and things of that nature, if you like locate object underwear and you see something light up, like there's only so many things that are wearing underwear out in the woods.
How big is this forest in terms of miles?
You don't really know, but I would say, from what you visualized, it's huge. It's give me 1 second. Let me take a look at my map. Valis, make an intelligence check.
My smart boy. Hmm.
You were once a librarian.
Once.
It's gonna be a 9.
Billy thinks
9?
about strings
9.
snapping in the dark.
So
Very average intelligence.
Banjo
Yeah.
starts.
Which means I have a lot of common sense.
So, I mean, you've been to the Emerald Spire. The Candlestick Forest isn't quite as large as the woodlands that the Valley and the Firefly is located in. It's probably close to like 3/4 of that, though. It's pretty big. It spans from where you guys entered all the way, essentially, to the capital of the Magiocracy of the Rising Storm. So it's a good portion of the Eastern Magiocracy is this woods.
I don't know if they actually got any, but it's worth a shot. Heartwood? I know. Yeah.
A try.
Even if it's not something they have with them, if there's heartwood elsewhere in the forest, they'll probably head to that spot eventually.
True. Or at least something will, and it'll make us a lead. Okay. Give that a go.
Okay.
So we're going to cast Locate Object on Heartwood.
So you cast this spell, and as the magic kind of leaves you and just whooshes out into the woods, every time that this wave of arcane magic strikes a tree, just lights up. All trees have heartwood, at least the species that are here. And so it is just a forest of light that just comes alive. It is much brighter for you. And Minka, make a survival or nature check, your choice, or a perception check, I would say.
Oh, all those three are decent for me.
Hey, there you go.
Hey.
Hey, which one has the highest number? Survival.
It's infected Alana too.
19. Oh, wait.
With the 19,
No, 21. Yeah, 21.
21.
Yeah. 30
With a-
plus 8.
With the 21, that is 21. You look out, and at first you're almost blinded by this, and so you kind of squint your eyes and look, and there's a place where it's a little darker, and so you shift your gaze there to let your eyes adjust, and you realize it's darker because there is a small patch about 600 feet off where a tree has been felled. And there's no, like, a very distinct, like, stripe that is missing. No, it is not an oak. I mean, you can't tell. And I would say, of note, there are places where there are down trees, but it seems more natural, and other things have sprung up in its place. This is a dead area in the forest.
Oh.
Small, like a tree is missing.
Well, that's odd.
What?
Well, one, did you know that most trees in this forest have heartwood? One, it's very bright. Two, there's like one spot where like there's a dead tree, but it doesn't look like it fell on its own. If that makes sense. You know when
I think we should check it out.
you know when a tree dies, things take advantage of the hole in the canopy. This one is just kind of a dead tree.
Definitely sounds worth
Like
checking
no
out.
other life has
Right.
No mushrooms.
It looks
regrown.
it's
in
like
this.
a black spot.
That seems awfully suspicious, especially given the current situation.
And for what it's worth, that black spot, as you, with that survival check, kind of orient yourself, due north.
Oh. It's also straight north. So
Is it like
You can't visually see it from this distance. It's about 600 feet away. And the mist really prevents you from seeing much more than 30, 45 feet out, depending on kind of where you are.
have I seen Heartwood before in the past?
Yeah. I mean, very technically, the Salakor staff is made out of heartwood from that tree. And so, I mean, that is heartwood.
The what
Is that what your
staff?
staff is called? Is that what your staff is called?
What? Is that the name of the
Is
staff?
that what your staff is called?
it's always staff glowing.
Yes.
Salakor staff.
Well, actually, knowing that, I would take it off and like just unwrap it a little.
Okay. You unwrap it, and it looks like your staff is always
No,
like.
not like I'll just take a peek.
Yeah.
You know. All right, put it back.
You look at it's still there.
Yeah, it's wood.
Just making sure it's not like glowing or something.
No, it's not
for real. Okay.
It's going to Minka because Minka is looking for heartwood, and that is technically heartwood.
All right.
Okay.
Well, we should head towards that spot.
Right? I think
Sounds
so
good to
too.
me.
So there we go. We'll go north after all.
It's I'll keep my eye on it and hopefully it doesn't move.
Yeah. Your spell is still running, right?
Lead the way.
Yeah.
She's gonna toddle off towards the black spot.
Billy's gonna like walk with her so that Billy like scans the area and Minka focuses on the black
Yeah,
spot.
because I am very much like a bat right now, where I can see one thing real good and everything else like, ooh.
So, Billy, make a perception check.
I'm trying to like also keep an eye out, mostly in the direction that Minka's leading us, but with
Sure,
like,
make a perception check.
you know, don't want to get
Other than
surprise
Minka,
attacked.
anybody who would like to can make a perception check.
14.
Okay.
Please, everyone who would want to make a
I'm also gonna look at Ogremane to see if his
11.
heartwood looks significantly different from any other heartwood.
Okay, so he's walking, and you're relatively close to him, and so you can see it in a little bit more definition. It seems a little bit bigger and a little bit thicker, and that might just be because he's a treant and is a little bit more than just a tree. But otherwise, you can see that they have heartwood as well.
I got an 11 on my check.
I got a 5.
Nice.
I'm just focusing on the ground and staying next to everyone.
Yeah.
No following animals.
This is
Please.
16 for me.
Okay. So as a group,
Just
you
checking.
make your way, not terribly aware of your
Are you guys
peripheries.
animals?
I do have passive of 19.
That's great.
Wow, that's awesome.
You walk about 200 feet forwards, and just beyond, about 1,000 feet away, suddenly you see another dark spot. And so you kind of get closer, and as you reach the place where there is a tree that has been felled, and you can see cleanly cut across. And as Ogremane sees this, you could hear him just, and he kind of like walks over and kneels down next to this tree, kind of examining the stump. But very recently was this felled. And as you reach it, there's another dark spot roughly 900 feet away. And so you're seeing they get thicker and thicker as if they're, you're heading in a direction where they're being moved, for sure.
Oh, it's like a weird breadcrumb trail of dead trees.
Missing trees, really.
Missing. Oh, yeah, that's fair.
Almost as if no matter which way we go, there's a path.
Yeah, can you look a different direction and see if there's any of those dark spots elsewhere?
Gonna whip her out.
You look, make a perception check. Maybe yours will be better.
Maybe.
Remember when Joe said we were going to be in this forest for the rest of our lives?
Didn't say that.
16.
16, okay.
Not horrific.
You
but-
turn to the right and you do see another dark spot, maybe like 100 feet away, just off to the side that you hadn't really directed your attention to. And so it's not a straight path, but you are, as you progress forward to the north, there are more and more trees that have been felled.
There are definitely more of them.
Ogremane,
Does
Yes.
you
do
first?
you know anything odd about this tree in the way that it's been felled?
That's what I was gonna ask too.
This tree has been felled most unrespectfully. It had not yet awakened. It had not yet had a chance to breathe. Not properly. A foul creature has done this, but with mundane tools, not magic.
So it looks like it's been like sawed, as opposed to like, shing, like with magic, shing.
Yes. You don't see any shing markings on the tree.
Wait, do trees become treants?
After long enough, if they have reached sufficient size and material, they can be awakened. And that is the first step along this path. Not every tree becomes a treant.
But every treant was a tree.
You can see the eyes kind of go up, and he doesn't answer that.
Didn't know that.
It was more like a philosophical.
I'm a treant and this is
At the end of
deep.
the day, we're all just trees
Some of us more than others.
in the forest of life.
Should we continue to follow these black spots? I feel like that is a good of a trail as any.
If we follow these, there is a good chance we come across whatever is doing this. And I would like to see them pay.
Not disagreeing there.
Let's go kill the hags.
To be clear, when you say felled, like maliciously, is this the same as just a woodcutter cutting down a tree for wood, or it's different than that?
I don't know. But I haven't seen any woodcutters around here.
Okay.
Okay. Should we follow him? I mean, I don't know what else to do.
I
Other
think
than
it's
just
as,
wander around this forest until we die.
I'd rather not do that, thanks.
I think this is as good as a lead as any, and especially ones that the mist is harder to interfere with.
Not
Alright.
wrong.
We're going north now.
No, what-
Everybody
Following
gets
the
what they
trees.
want.
The trees
He
lead
said
us
it's
north.
leading north. Okay. You guys wanna go ahead? Wanna lead? I'm right behind you.
You ready?
My staff.
You make your way
Preschool
a little further north, holding your preschool rope, holding your battle line, if you will. About 5 minutes goes by, and steadily you are seeing more and more of these holes until all at once, about 1,000 feet off, right at the range of your spell, you reach a tree line, and you can tell because there is just heartwood, and then just darkness beyond. And right about that point, you hit the 10-minute mark, and it goes away. But you are pretty aware that you're coming to a clearing, perhaps.
Well, there's. Ooh, it's dark. Oh, okay. Okay, it's a tree line. We're coming on the edge of something. We're still in the forest, so probably some kind of clearing. I can't tell you much more than that. I would have to recast.
How far away?
About 1,000 feet.
Maybe we should start sneaking.
I know we're here.
I don't know. If there's
Okerman
much
just
point to
bends
it, but-
all the way down,
Oh,
gets down
right.
to a knee, and he says, "Respectfully, you are not stealthy creatures."
Well, that one time we weren't, but we can do better.
I'm pretty sneaky.
Yeah.
When I'm,
You were chewing taffy last week, though. So.
We can try.
Like too busy eating
I
a
got a
taffy.
taffy. Who gave us taffy?
No,
apples?
it never.
He
it's
stretches
a-
up and up
You're
and up.
fine. Never
Don't worry about it.
I remember.
So
I am
you
not
all-
very sneaky.
Are you going?
I can try.
You're right. Let's just go. The other option is I stand here for an hour. I can resummon Rez and send him to go look, but I don't think it's gonna make a difference either way.
I'm gonna start mentally counting see, because we now are just walking forward at a guideline
Okay.
to see if we just don't hit like an edge of a clearing within a reasonable amount of time.
Oh, that'd be messed up, huh? So about 3 hours. No, you walk 10 feet forward, then 20, and then 30, and all of you are aware of the fact that there are fewer trees, noticeably fewer, and it doesn't take magic to see. The ground is becoming more and more damp, and at a certain point, Okermane turns and says, "Perhaps not a clearing, but a swamp or bog or pond." And
What makes you say,
continue
of
to
course?
Say, was I able
Where
to
else would
sneak?
they be?
Make a stealth check if you want to.
I did.
Go for
So
it.
hagonormative.
Oh, man. Fantastic. Well done.
Oh, it's hard to get Kara. I'm proud of that one.
So if you were going to continue to walk, you get a little bit closer and a little bit closer. And at a certain point, and this takes you very much by surprise, who's leading the party?
It's like Minka and Billy are
Okay.
up front.
And I'm right behind.
The two of you take a step forward, and almost like a sheet, you feel the mist just part, and you step into a literal clearing.
Oh, fuck.
You can see in front of you, there is like stones and rock formations. And here, Billy, there are mushrooms all over the place. You see toadstools that grow as tall as you. You can see, make a perception check. And like at this point, kind of one by one, you guys are each just like stepping through the mist, and it swirls behind you, and you enter this clearing as well.
21.
Okay.
I'm gonna make a nature check. Be like, mushrooms. Clearly, these are unnatural mushrooms, or it feels unnatural to have
nature check,
suddenly
sure.
giant mushrooms here.
We've reached the mushroom biome.
I look around for animals.
I want to
Make a perception check.
All that.
Animals.
17.
17. With a 17, these are not necessarily unnatural. There's a wide variety. I mean, you can see off in the distance, the only one that you really recognize and one that you know to steer clear of because these grow in the caves around your home. They're called both end blue mushrooms. And they're called that because when you eat them, typically a little while later, they leave you. You see a mushroom off in the distance a little bit that is like a fleshy stalk, almost like skin, and then the top of it is black with these bright red dots. You can see another one that seems to be almost like a white button mushroom, very much like you would see like a stereotypical white mushroom, red polka dot kind of thing, or red mushroom, white polka dot kind of thing.
Those are poison.
Whew. And then you see all around the ground, there are just, little mushrooms, little, what you imagine are probably edible mushrooms, kind of mixed into the rest, but those are more mundane sized.
Don't eat that one.
What was your check?
Does it mean I can eat the rest?
No.
Don't.
Natural 1.
Honestly.
Just fellas. No, not gonna say it. I'm gonna let Joe say it.
You, in the mud, would imagine that there's lots of tracks, and you do see that there are deer tracks here, but it's been kind of mushed around a little bit, and you can't really make sense of where they go. And looking around at the moment, you don't see any animals.
Okay.
Thank goodness.
Are there any hidden objects or creatures?
Make a investigation check using your feature.
What does the ground look like again? I'm sorry. Like, is it a swamp or a bog?
It's not really, but it's really damp kind of a clearing, almost like it's like wetlands, and it's almost like you're in like a little bit of a basin right now, and the water kind of drains into this clearing.
I got a 25 perception.
Okay.
I did not.
Okay. So with your eye for detail, you see less than Billy. But what are you looking for in particular?
You told me to roll a perception check upon entering the mushroomy bog.
Oh no!
Eyes out, you can actually see beyond like the actual mushrooms and through elements of rock that rise up and form like little mesas and hillsides. There is a edge of what looks like a building, and you can see it like crumbling down, brownstone. Like it's not a functional building probably. And there are these little wooden fences that are kind of outside, and the wood looks pretty fresh, which is weird considering the house is an absolute ruin.
There's their house. They usually would cast rituals inside. It's a little bit more sheltered, keeps the ritual circle a little bit, It's gross, and you don't want it to rain on it because it would wash the grossness away.
Can anybody blow it up from here? Anybody? Can
I
anyone do anything that
Would
can
I be
blow
able
up
to
something?
shoot
I
it
would
and
try it,
light it
but
on fire with
sure.
my ruby crescendo to try and burn that hut down?
So it's a brown stone, typically doesn't burn, but you could certainly shoot it from here. I mean, Billy kind of points out the
But it
direction.
needs to be
And
more explosive than flame.
would a visual perspective be helpful to see what you can
Yeah, I guess that would probably be helpful. Here we go.
I didn't
Have the names of the houses
Really?
down
Yeah,
and
because I mean, I thought you guys were gonna go west. That's what you were saying.
target.
I mean, that was our plan.
Can't
Yeah.
see that.
And then Mika had a good idea.
It's okay if you can't find it.
I definitely do. I just try to figure out which page it's on.
Yeah. Or Matt might have it. Who can
names of the
find the
hags,
names
'cause
of the
we were
hags
here.
first?
Hesitite, Ara, and Shari.
There we go.
Hesitite,
Aura
Yeah,
and
and
Shari.
Shari.
And do you remember which is which in
Yeah.
terms of like which
Aura
does
of
something?
Nightmare, Shari the slumber hag,
Yep, and then
and
Hesitite,
Hesitite of Night Sweats.
Terror Sweat.
Terror sweats. Thank you.
Let me get
Go.
I'm gonna hold on to this until everything.
Oh wow. Oh my. I know I say this every time, but you outdone yourself.
Joe, mushrooms. Joe, mushrooms.
Yeah, there's mushrooms.
Wow. Oh, Carol, look! Oh, the blue ones. There's a little green one.
And so at the moment, you guys are
Donate
actually
those.
entering from the northern side. Actually, I put this in backwards, but you guys are from the side over there, closest to that red mushroom. You guys are probably closest to that huge kind of skull right on the other side, which is why you haven't seen it yet. So like right off the board.
It's time to
And so as you kind of get closer and you're on the wrong night for that. As you like peer out from around this, first of all, Billy, you look to your right and there's this huge skull. I mean, very much like a dinosaur skull. You see other bones that kind of indicate that as well. And then as you get closer and closer still, and you're able to see through the elements of the actual rocks themselves, you can see there is a circle made out of stone that has a number of different kind of runes, and there is a tree that has been kind of like set almost upright like it should be, but you can see like the roots are kind of twisted under it, and it's not like in the ground itself. It has been wholesale pulled away, not cut. So a little different than what you've seen. However, you do see that there are a number of like fences that have been erected from fresh wood, and there is a pile of lumber as well that is kind of between you and the runes themselves.
Do we all see that?
Billy is seeing all this and kind of describing it to you guys. I think Billy's the only person that really is seeing much of anything.
Can I peer over her shoulder and see if I see, anything else?
I mean, Billy describes all this stuff and your eyes kind of adjust and you see it too.
All right, there we go.
It'll probably take more than a 19 to see anything else.
Yeah, fair.
I'm just
How should
wondering
we
if the
approach?
heartwood, or if the trees that are there are heartwood.
Oh, most certainly.
Cool. What a cool, sexy time for all of us.
Yeah, this is awesome.
Am I still
well, we
sneaking,
found them.
Even if it's...
That was
Yeah.
what you wanted, right?
We
You
didn't
feel hidden.
find them.
Okay, found us, okay.
But also,
We found their home.
Yes.
Or as you are the most hidden, are you getting any closer?
I'm gonna be like, I'm gonna try to get a little closer and see if I can see anything.
Okay,
I'm gonna go.
that sounds good.
Be careful.
Oh, I was actually gonna be completely not careful in this situation right now.
We just say it because we care about you. It's what people say when they care. It's like,
Right,
I don't think Mika's ever seen a hag.
Probably not.
Sneaking up this way, around this first
Okay.
rocky embankment.
So you sneak around this
And if
first
this is
rocky
mud,
embankment.
I'm trying to not go into the mud.
It is mud, and so you step around the mud.
Kind of sucks.
You kind of look at it, and you're like,
Are there
maybe I
ground
won't.
here?
Maybe I
'Cause
won't go
there's
in
some
there.
good mud.
Being cautious of like stepping
Yeah,
into
keep an
like
eye out for
mucky
ground.
trails or something.
Send him to
Yeah.
the
You can
commune.
put stuff under mud. It's
Yeah,
dangerous.
absolutely. No,
Cover it up.
absolutely.
Searching.
So you step around the mud, and for what it's worth, the ground here very marshy, and so like all of it kind of mud. But there are places that are bound together by little bits of grass, and so you stick to that.
I'm on high alert.
And for what it's worth, as you're walking, the plant life here is a little different than what you see in the rest of the Candlestick Forest, for sure.
I was about to ask, when we went through the mist, did it feel like maybe we've entered a different area? Because I would imagine that the Candlestick Forest isn't known for having dinosaurs.
Certainly not.
Yeah, we hit a loading screen. You remember that?
You guys got in an elevator and it just went on for like 5 minutes.
We found one of those things where like you go through and then you pop out in Zora's domain, like
Oh, see, I was thinking of like the fog wall before a fight in like Demon's Souls.
So when we left Silent Hill,
none of these are sponsors, by the way.
Ori, is that where you're ending up?
I'm gonna get here and see if I see anything, and then if not, I'm gonna like whoop
did
over
the
to this
mist
way and kind of
feel
get
like
up to
the
like
other
this
mist?
next embankment area.
No.
Anything from here.
What are we waiting for? I asked to the group that's still here.
I think we're just letting Ori do some recon.
And Ori, as you are doing recon, one of the things that you do notice as you get there, you kind of go around the mud. You're like, oh, that's more mud. You go around that mud too. Very, very much trying to avoid this mud. You
And,
get
like,
to,
other dangerous things.
Alina's just like, let him cook.
you get to,
but also we should probably move forward. It might provide a distraction.
And maybe spread out because we're very fireballable right now.
I'm gonna look at the mushroom.
sure. Ori, do you speak giant?
No.
So you hear, as you get a little closer,
Ooh, I do. Does that help? It doesn't help.
Sab, sika tok vi tang odwantis, elfwa ua brow. And you hear this kind of like crunch, And as you get and you peer around that rock, give me 1 second. You see a cage, first of all.
Okay.
I swear to God, next level, I'm taking a feat that allows us to speak giant,
Hey,
and
Gunner.
I'm never gonna hear anyone speak giant ever again.
I literally have a
It's Ubi.
spell
Something
called
to make you
tongues.
Would I recognize it as
Hannah has
giant,
a spell
especially after
called
having just been?
tongues.
Yes.
she
I would say yes. That you almost certainly would. This is more of
wow.
that speech that you're not familiar with.
Not in the cage, right? Next to it?
Next to it.
Okay.
She's a beaut.
There is something in the cage. You can't quite make it out. It's small. Hey, maybe it's one of Valis's animals. But it's definitely not
waistcoat
human
shaped?
or medium-sized, small-sized creature.
Is it clothing?
Maybe it's clothing. That's often what you keep in
Is it
cages.
a waistcoat? I don't know.
The figure that I see,
I
Hag,
keep all my waistcoats in the cage.
The
yeah.
figure that you see, this individual, they have this light purple skin. They have dark hair that, as you see it, at first it looks almost oily or like it's still somehow moving in the breeze, but you recognize twisted into the hair itself, there are worms and night crawlers that have these long legs and pincers that almost hold to her scalp. And she is the one that is chanting this. And you can hear these words kind of slip from chapped lips. And she is slipping these little bits of what look like meat through the bars of the cage. And you can hear little crunches coming from the bottom. As they whisper and they end this sentence, Beron govovon fas. There is around this circle a brief pulse. And then she starts again. Sopsika tok vi. And seems to be doing a ritual.
All right. I'm gonna try to sneak up. Is this actually flat?
Everything that you see is as it is.
Okay. I'm gonna try to sneak up here, and from here, can I try to get the party's attention without raising alarm?
You can definitely try. So go ahead and make a, we'll call it a sleight of hand check.
Okay.
You climb up a little bit. And where are you climbing exactly?
I think I would probably try to get sort of up onto this log here, but keeping cover from through this.
So you kind of get along the log. The log at some point was a tree that fell and took out part of this wall. And so you can actually walk along the log, which is a little mushy, to the stone itself and kind of keep yourself hidden in that little corner. No problem.
I'm gonna try to
Because you're there, make a perception check and then make your sleight of hand check.
perception check is bad.
Does he get his
an
thing?
11.
An 11? Yeah, I mean, you see all the stuff that you would imagine.
Cool.
Dice. Make a sleight of hand check if you want to signal the party.
Oh my god, this is fucking terrible. My dice have been terrible. That's another 11.
So it's been some time now, and Ori is gone.
We should move in.
Yeah.
Do I see them moving in?
You guys aren't stealthing, right?
Billy can't.
Right. So, I mean,
point.
Are we trying to stealth?
I don't think there's a point. Yeah, so.
Okay.
And also, didn't you say it's kind of maybe a distraction to
gonna-
help Ori? Yeah.
Get up here,
Billy doesn't feel good about Ori being alone.
steady aim. I'm gonna shoot this hag or this thing that I think is a hag,
Here we go.
and then bonus action hide.
When
okay, love this.
I, the player, do not disagree with this. I think it's a great idea.
I love it. So it's
I don't
where'd
want her
that
to
arrow
finish.
come
I
from?
don't want her to finish the ritual.
when we started to be oh, Ori, we're gonna start moving in, Minka would have walked up towards the giant, what I'm assuming is a giant fly
Did
amaranth.
say I'm gonna go look at the
I'm
mushroom.
gonna go look at the mushroom. So that's the closest one.
No worries. So, we'll start with Ori's attack, but everybody can go ahead and roll for initiative,
Yeah,
because that's definitely something that Ori needs to do this.
Ooh, this is not the time to roll a natural
That's
20.
better. Yay.
You do that a lot on initiative.
I don't
Natural
want to
one
be
for
this
Alina.
high in initiative.
Have a good initiative
need a feat
when
to
you're
be
doing a
like-
sneak attack.
Not to just. We have we play that game Gloomhaven, and there's an item where you can add plus
Okay,
10 or
so
minus
Ori,
10 to your initiative.
you steady
So
aim.
good.
Go ahead and make your attack roll.
Stop making me go first. Sorry. Minka's not a tactician.
It'd be really cool if my dice weren't Garbo. Come on.
No,
Please bless us with the good numbers.
Are you kidding me?
Oh my god.
I'm guessing that's a Garbo dice roll.
I mean,
It is a
Vincent
garble
says
dice.
it will.
considering that I get to roll 3 dice for that,
For rolling 3 dice.
it's pretty Garbo.
I'm very
It
disappointed
is a
in those dice.
Okay.
21.
21. That is a hit.
Nice. Is it a sneak attack because it's...
It is, yeah, absolutely. It's a sneak attack, yeah. It's at advantage.
I don't know
so.
why I fucking asked that. Of course it's a sneak attack. I knew it's a
What
sneak
innocent person is Ori about to kill?
attack. I feel like it's pretty not...
Turns out there was an animal here after all, and Ori killed it.
Slumber hags, we're seeing visions.
What if we fell asleep like an hour ago? We just don't know.
This entire adventure is a dream.
I hate it so much.
And I am going to use one of my charges to do the
Ogre made was a
fire
dream
extra
this whole
damage.
time.
So that's going to be another D.
I just realized why they're called the Coven of Unrest.
Really? Okay.
I'm not smart, Joe.
They're just sleepy all the time, you know?
Well, I was thinking unrest.
civil
like,
unrest.
yes,
Yeah,
that
yeah,
is
yeah.
exactly what I was
That's
thinking. I
why
was
I
like,
named
oh,
it
they mess with governments or whatever. Like, that's their
I
thing.
named it
I
that
don't
because
think
you
so.
guys know that the UHEX
I am
government
unrest,
system is all covens, and so it was kind of like a red herring for
Shit,
that.
what was my...
Well, it worked.
12,
See, that's like my favorite thing that people like. What happens when people like click?
so 27,
Gunner is not impressed with me.
4 of which is fire, the rest is magical
missed it, what happened?
piercing.
Okay, so 27, 4 is fire, the rest is magical piercing. And that seems to do the full amount of damage that you would imagine. So in this kind of second, as you are alone and you are up there on the platform, you level the crossbow and you fire.
And then I hide.
You could see as she like passes this little bit of meat through, it strikes her, and as it does, she becomes somewhat insubstantial. There is a poof of blood and a as she hisses, and all of a sudden she becomes ethereal. We don't have an ethereal status marker, but ethereal.
What we got?
Anything else, Ori?
Could become a host.
Bonus action hide.
Yeah.
Okay. Go ahead and make your hiding your stealth check.
Not.
Nice. It was 19 on the die, which I believe is 27 or 28. I just have to
Okay.
check.
Let me know which one it is. I'll just put it down, and then we'll go right to initiative. Anybody with a natural 20. Right, there we go. Nice. We got Minka starting us off with that natural 20. Anybody 25 to 20?
22.
22 is well.
Oh, look at that. Who has a higher dex?
I have a 20 dex.
You have the higher dex.
Ding, ding, ding.
So it is going to be Minka, then Ori, and then Billy. 20 to 15.
Oh no.
15 to 10.
13.
Oh no.
Ooh, there we go. Okay, 13 for Valis. And then Alina, where are you gonna fight today?
Natural 1.
Ooh, okay.
Probably not.
So, Minka is going to start us off, followed by Ori, followed by Billy, followed by the Hag, followed by Valis, followed by everybody else, followed by Alina. So, Minka, you hear this. Yes. Okermane, thank you. Thank you.
Yes.
Oh yeah, the big tree
Look
guy.
how he's like tucked in there. That's so cute.
Minka, what's your dex?
Oh, my dex.
Okermane.
+3.
Last session, he was doing
Okay,
so
you're
many
faster
like,
than
superhero
Okermane.
things.
Okermane also got a natural 20.
He like
Damn.
landed in superhero pose. Like, yeah, it was
So, Minka, you're starting us off.
like
Okermane's on deck, and then Ori, you are in the hall. So, Minka, you hear this hiss, and then you hear this like commotion going on. You hear the sound of this magic kick into effect, and you know that Ori just took a shot.
Okay.
So, what would you like to do?
I'm going to move up to that tiny pillar in front of the mushroom.
Okay.
This one?
Yep.
You want behind it or in front of it?
I would like to be behind it because I would like to look around it, and I want to use my action to look into the house to see if I can see a hag.
Okay. So, as an action, you want to make a perception check.
Yep.
Make a perception check.
What was that? A what?
12 on the die.
12? Okay. I'll take that back now.
I always like to wait and see what it's gonna be.
That is a dirty 20.
Dirty 20, finally. Okay. So,
Oh, finally, the thing that we
Oh no.
you should have seen.
Oh, if it's Patty, that would be.
because you are looking for mushrooms, perhaps, you do note that off in the distance, all currently bent down, like in like this kind of pose where they are sitting, and they have their arms drawn around their knees. The head is down, so they look like little mushrooms sitting down. But you can see in the arms that are wrapped around these legs, these long, jagged talons of what look like stone or bone or some kind of ceramic that just slides from the mushroom material itself. They seem to be at the moment inert, but as you hear this hiss, you see like they begin to twitch and like flick and move, and they seem to be becoming active as well. But what would you like to do? That is your action.
All right. So I would like to bonus actione, but I don't see any other hags or any hags. Can I?
You see one, and I would say, you know what? You actually see in the cage itself what looks kind of like a Boston Terrier, were it not for the fact that it is clad in leather-studded armor. It has a sword attached to it. It's exactly the one that you see in there.
Did it go?
Polymorphed? A guy polymorphed?
It's just
You
a
don't-
wearing a whisk.
You don't keep your equipment.
The mini is in there. You can see it's exactly
There's a dog
that.
in there.
A dog with a little doggy shape.
I don't know how you.
Oh my god! I love
You
it.
can pick it up and just pop out the bottom.
All right, so I believe all of my bonus actions
Is that from
I'm just gonna put
are
on top for just
things that
to
I don't
denote so we
necessarily
can
want
just kind
Alrighty.
of see it.
to do yet. Oh no, mad.
So upsettingly cute.
Hold on, I'm just
That's
double
pretty
checking
cute.
if that is. I will bonus action magic stone the stones in my pocket that I picked up from before, and then turn around, like whip my head around and just be like, mushroom people.
So you see Minka jam her hands in her pockets, which begin to glow slightly, and then she whispers, "Mushroom people." All right, that is your turn, Minka.
Yep.
That brings us to Ochreman. So Ochreman, hearing this, it's not quite enough of the waiting around. He is going to 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35, 40, 50.
Get up in that bitch.
Get him.
You know what? He's probably going to stop here.
To observe this.
So cute. He's a boy with an eye.
So you can see Ochreman stomps forwards, and as he gets to this tree, he stops. And one of the 4 or 5 limbs that he uses as arms reaches out and just very gently kind of touches the tree, which rocks on the stone. And he just says, "Sorry, brother." And he turns, and you can see he twists his hands, and all the little bits of vines and thorns and things just snap off of his hand as it grows ice cold, and the point around that hag grows ice cold as well. For what it's worth, though it does seem to hit, this creature in their ethereal form does not take any damage from that attack. And that is Ochreman's turn. That brings us to Ori. Ori, where you hide, you could hear Ochreman into battle. What would you like to do?
Sorry, just did he do the ice to the tree to try and hurt?
He tried to do it to the hag.
Oh, okay. Do I still see the hag?
You see this ethereal creature that looks like the hag, yeah.
And I saw Ochreman try to hurt.
Correct.
And miss. All right, then I guess I'm gonna I'm still sneaking. I'm gonna make my way along this wall here to get a little closer to, help out Ochreman a little more.
Okay.
Bonus action, eye for detail. I'm looking for hidden creatures and objects.
Okay, yeah.
That's a 26.
26. So for a 26, you look around, you can see Ochreman. You see, for the first time, this tree that's on this stand, it is certainly still a tree, but as this chanting has been happening, it has been moving and twisting in a way that is a little bit unnatural, and you're just realizing it's a tree for now, but it's right on the cusp of not being a tree anymore. Aside from that, you turn because you hear this twitching and this kind of pulsing of some kind of a damp material, and you're watching as all of a sudden the arms kind of away from the mushroom bodies and they begin to twitch and stretch up to an upright position. They are certainly humanoid mushroom creatures of some kind. Oh.
Gonna back up here to stay avoidant of their vision.
Okay.
Assuming that they probably can't just see because they're fucking mushroom people. And I guess I'm gonna
you doing?
Ready an attack for when she becomes not ethereal again.
Okay. So from your hidden spot, kind of tucked into these weird sort of almost like cordyceps-like bushes, you get ready. You steady aim the ruby crescendo.
Yes.
Okay. Ready to fire. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to Billy.
Ellie is going to move forward. Movement. 2, 3, 4, 6. Can she see the hag from here?
I think with Okerman there, it would be tough, especially because she's ethereal, but you see like the movement of this wispy shape for sure.
So Billy knows that there's a thing here.
Yeah. And you can see like the glow of this fiery rune from Ori's arrow. Yeah.
And Billy just puts a finger to her lips and hisses, "Shh," and casts silence in that area.
Okay, very nice. And so that's a saving throw?
20-foot sphere.
Or is it 20-foot sphere where they...
Sphere.
Where on a point that I centered, which is right there.
Gotcha.
Or like right in front of her.
Point here. I see ethereal thing here. Want silence here.
Yeah, silence a little doggy too.
The dog just starts barking.
So it's that inner
Just like
circle that-
we did it. It's like,
Love
like
that.
you
Okay,
guys
cool,
are
cool,
married or something.
So you cast this, and it spreads out, and as Okerman says, "Sorry, brother," and he like turns, he snaps, and you see his mouth move, but then he looks confused, and then he snaps again, and that doesn't seem to work. And all of a sudden, this sphere of silence has taken hold. And for what it's worth, Ori, you don't hear the chanting anymore, and that tree stops rocking. Anything else, Billy?
Am I able to cast Hexblade's Curse on her from here?
What is the range on that?
That is
She's still
a
ethereal.
wonderful question. I'm
She is.
usually doing that.
Incorporeal.
Oh, 30 feet. No, it's too far.
Too far. That it, Billy?
That's it.
Alrighty, that brings us to the hag. So, in this sphere of silence, I was not expecting that. That's a good move. Unable to
Nicely
finish.
done.
Shut that hag's mouth.
Don't let her finish.
I want to stay by someone whose name was the Tunstay.
That's what I heard.
Theodora's
Just gonna get there.
Still ethereal?
Still, no longer ethereal. So go ahead and take your shot. As they begin to move and they get to the point where
Right.
like that door kind of ends, they step beyond the bricks, and all of a sudden it's like they're stepping through the plane.
It's a dirty 20.
Dirty 20 hits.
Nice. And I'm gonna use another charge. So fuck her face.
Okay.
It's not that kind of stream, man.
Yeah. Be cool. Be so cool right now.
They have to subscribe to the Patreon for that.
That's 3d8 and 3d6.
Yummy.
I have a technical question
Yeah.
when you have a chance.
Those are good numbies.
Whoa! Can confirm.
Cool. So that's gonna be 11 fire.
Okay. 11 fire.
Then another
But if it's still centered.
12.
Oh, she's still in it. Yeah, yeah.
I'm doing this for you, Gunner. 18, 24 magical piercing
24 magical piercing.
and 11 fire.
Okay, so 24 more magical piercing. Give me 1 second here. Very nice. Nice even numbers there. Yes.
It's a 20-foot radius sphere.
Yeah.
So she's still in it.
Yeah. But she can't move any further, and she doesn't know that.
We're just
we're
making
just
sure.
checking.
Appreciate that.
And she's not in
So, from where she is, she stops, kind of getting as much cover as she can behind these rocks. And you watch Ori as she looks at you, and she goes, and nothing happens. And you can see it seems like she tries to cast a spell, but it doesn't take hold. And now, recognizing that she can't do that, let me see if that was an action or a bonus action really quick. Hold on
It
a
was
second.
a bonus action. Or an action.
I was gonna say, why do you want her to try again?
It's not that, it's more, can she run? Yeah, she can. So she's going to actually take that movement, recognizing what's happening. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30, 35. Actually,
How's she looking?
She's looking hurt. I mean, you can see there's a noticeable limp to her. I mean, really caught her by surprise. And taking away her ability to cast spells,
Very helpful.
very, very
For
smart.
not getting killed.
No, really, really good. So that is all that she can do in her turn, which brings us to Valis.
Cool. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. All right, so I'll move up 30 feet. Can you describe this again? What am I seeing when I'm looking at this?
Just barely now, coming to a standstill. It had been rocking previously, but a tree that has been uprooted in its entirety and then placed upon a stone casting circle of some kind.
Okay. Oh boy. I want to use my beads.
Okay.
And gonna take my beads, close my eyes for a moment, and cast animate objects.
Okay,
Let's do it.
fantastic. What are you casting it on?
So the range is 120 feet. So first I want to do this thing.
Okay.
And get it off the circle. So,
Fantastic. So
Mine
you
now.
animate this tree.
what size would you say that is?
That's probably huge. Give me 1 second here.
Medium, huge, or large?
I wonder if you could do mushroom v mushroom.
Mushroom fly! Large car. It would be huge.
Would be huge?
Yeah.
I'll take that and let me just do some math. I think I
Throw
get
it at her.
2 more things. Let's see. Huge count is 8, 10. All right, so I'm gonna choose 2 small objects that are
Okay.
gonna be near her, whether they like a couple of rocks.
Okay, yeah, no problem, no problem.
That and this little mushroom.
So, no, this is an area where there's lots of stones on the ground. Unlike where you've been previously, there's not a ton of trees here. There's a lot more rock. And so you can just wherever you want, kind of 2 pebbles or 2, like head-sized stones.
Yeah. Same idea. And then I'm going to
2 softballs.
command them all as a bonus action to
Pummel the shit out of her.
pummel the shit out of the hag.
Yeah, go for it. Make your attack. Have your rocks make their attack rolls.
Revenge of the forest.
You grab this prayer bead, and as you squeeze it in your fist, and it just dissipates and squeezes through your fingers, the arcane energy just separates, goes into these different objects, and they begin to rise from the ground ominously.
Alright, you want me to roll initiative for the inanimate objects?
Roll the attacks for them, because they'll just go in your turn for this round, and then we'll roll it at the top for where they come in.
Oh, okay. Let's see. So the small objects, that's going to be a 19 to hit.
That hits.
And then a 16 to hit.
That misses, unfortunately.
Alright.
The first miss.
9 Rocco damage.
Yeah, 9 points of bludgeoning damage.
Would you say that the Roccos are modern?
Anything else, Valis?
Not at
Oh,
all.
I got that. No, that
Yes, but all of us.
that's it.
Okay. So that is your turn, Valis. That brings us to everybody else. So these mushroom creatures now finish standing up and twitching, and they are going to begin to lurch forwards. Not terribly fast, are they? 10, 15, 20, 25, 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. And they are going to make their way along here.
Concentrating. Oh, does the tree also start hovering towards it? Because it would have.
Yeah, it moves 20 feet, correct?
It moves some distance. 30 feet.
Right there.
Nice.
On a tree.
Very
You have
intimidating.
the flying here. This is you got your floating ominous tree.
I'm a tree, motherfucker.
I'm just picturing it going over, floating.
They
It's like
twitch
bonk.
and they move and they lurch, and every now and then as they step away, it's like their foot breaks off and just leaves this clump of quickly sprouting toadstools in their wake. But they are going in this direction, and they seem to be heading in the direction of this hag. But that is really all that they can do, and that does bring us to Alina.
Oh, finally, she wakes up from her nap. No, she was not napping.
If you
That
say
was
so.
just a joke.
Deadly joke.
Say so. All right, Alina is going to use her entire action to move, to just gallop forward. 1,
Billy just holds out a hand to like pronk off.
She's like here.
Pop.
That's pretty good. And then
Did you say you were pronking? Did I hear that or?
no, I'm just walking.
Oh, okay.
Regular walk.
Regular walk. You would know if I was fly flonking, as it were.
So you rush past the rest of your party. You make your way into the center of this clearing, right in front of this magical circle, right next to this mushroom that Minka said you probably don't want to eat.
I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah.
Out of action.
What do you want to do?
Why'd you make the one that we're not supposed to eat look so tasty?
Yeah.
I guess with my bonus action, I'll cast Hex
Candy.
on the witch.
Okay.
Or,
Which
sorry, on the
which check?
Which?
Strength.
Strength.
Interessant.
Anything else, Alina?
That's it.
Okay. That brings us to the top of the round. Minka. From where you are, you feel these magical stones in your pockets. You can see chaos unfolding in front of you. What do you want to do?
So my first thing is a technical question.
Yeah.
In reading a spell description, if it says ordinary projectiles, does that mean non-magical projectiles or just like standard projectiles?
For catapult?
No, for wind wall.
For wind wall, if it says objects, I think that would include magical objects.
Yeah, it just says ordinary projectiles. I didn't know if that meant like.
So no, it wouldn't work on magical projectiles.
Okay.
If it's just ordinary.
Okay, so just like stand. Okay, that was my
So
question.
are my crossbow bolts ordinary?
Give me 1 second here.
It's a very important distinction.
It is.
Because
Yeah, because ordinary isn't a word
'Cause
that
I
carries
think-
any particular special meaning.
I think it's the
not like a
bolts are
complete-
ordinary,
yeah.
but the
weird.
the crossbow is the thing
Yeah,
that
so
is
I think as
magical.
but the way that I would rule this is if it's a normal arrow, it's probably going to affect it. So it would affect Ruby Crescendo because you're using regular arrows. I think
bolts,
one of you has at least 2 magical arrows for some reason, or maybe that was the first campaign. I know that somebody who cannot have magical arrows in terms of their use.
I think
has
it's that
It's probably Cheshire.
Cheshire took the magical arrows.
That sounds about right.
Yeah.
So at the moment, I would say, without doing any more research on it, it'll affect mundane things, not magic.
Okay, cool. So that was my question. Because before I start throwing stuff around in the battlefield, I want to make sure I'm not gonna like screw someone over by accident.
Yeah.
So I'm going to move my movement forward so I can get some kind of eye on.
Okay. Can you get right to the edge of the runes?
So she's still way too far off for me to really do anything. And this is a casting circle, right?
Certainly.
Okay. I'm also is the silence cone something that's visible or
No, it's not visible.
okay. Did I remember to bring it with?
Yeah, check for hex. That's a good point.
I did.
Bye-bye. Oh, I feel stronger.
Okay. So does Minka know Billy cast silence?
She did go shh.
Yeah. And then stuff went quiet there. So
Yeah.
Presumably, I mean, does it have like verbal? I mean, it has like components.
It's verbal and
presumably.
somatic.
Yeah,
It's
Yeah.
verbal
There's
is
the whole,
yeah.
like,
That's it. Yeah. Okay.
You might not know exactly where it is, but you know that it's been cast.
Right.
So
Okay. So I will now. I'm assuming is going to be my action. Assess if the cat, like this magical circle, is currently active.
Okay. So make an Arcana check.
this is happening.
I
dexterity
believe
save.
that's 17.
17.
Yes.
It is. It is
Okay.
very much active, and the fact that silence is cast right now is probably the only thing that has kept you from fighting whatever this was meant to be turned into.
Okay. So out, I believe, is my action, and then this is more just me asking because I don't use this spell terribly often. Within range. Dispel magic, I can target a specific active spell.
Correct.
Right.
believe
So I
so.
can like target the magic circle.
Give me 1 second here. It's Dispel Magic.
Yeah. I can't cast it this round, but I just want to make sure my brain's in the right spot.
For each spell of or higher on the target, make an ability check. Yeah. Assuming, yes, that can work. Is how I will phrase it.
Yes. Okay, cool. I just want to make sure I'm understanding the situation. All right, sweet. So my bonus action, because I can't really do anything, in that sense, I believe it's 120 feet to huck a stone, or 60 feet to huck a stone. It's hucking a stone. 60 feet it is. I believe she's way farther than 60 feet just by eyeballing it.
Is there a long range you can throw at a disadvantage?
No.
No, it just is. Unless I had a sling, but I don't have a sling. It would just be my arm. I am going to not use my bonus action and just hang out.
Okay. Free action hangout. That brings us to
Vibing with
Overman.
the mushrooms.
Yeah, I don't want to activate.
You don't want to activate it and then turn it into a thing.
Yeah.
Overman, as this tree lifts off and floats away, just go and just.
You can fly, Overman! You can fly!
5, 10, 15.
Don't step on that thing!
Check 20, 30. He is going to get here. I'm going to make an athletics check to see if he makes it upright.
Oh, good. I still have line of sight.
He does. So you watch as he runs and then just leaps over this fence, lands, and continues running on the other side. He makes it to the edge, and you can see he grabs this tree with 2 of his arms. The other 2 arms are like swirling and trying to cast this spell, but I believe he is still in this radius, correct?
20-foot radius?
20-foot radius.
Doesn't look like it.
No,
Maybe outside of it.
and I wasn't in it either when I cast Hex.
Are you sure?
I'm just outside it,
Oh,
yeah.
okay.
Because the point was here, right? So even outside of the house, it's 5, 10, 15, 20, and I'm at 25.
Oh, that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's this red
Okay.
circle.
Fair enough.
Admittedly, I didn't do that on
point.
purpose, but now that we're
worries.
talking about it, I
It
was-
basically gets like this, and then it's like right along the edge. So like a corner of the circle itself is not.
So in that case, you see the 2 arms grab onto this trunk and say, "Be gone, foul spirit!" And the other 2 arms reach forwards, and he is going to try to use this ability to get 2 of them. I don't need to can't get 3. Second here. One of them.
It's a masterpiece.
15.
Excellent.
Did we roll initiative for the rocks and the logs, by the way?
No, we're gonna roll at the top of the round for this. So he snaps, and this cold spot just appears right between these 2 mushrooms. And from that single point, it's like it spreads into this huge burst of icicles that pierce one of these in multiple places. The other one is like knocked a little bit off kilter, and they both take damage. One a little bit less so.
It's already been the top. Did you want me to roll?
Oh yes, please. Sorry, thank you. Duh.
Oh no.
I didn't write initiative at the top, but that threw me off.
It's
a little bit.
okay because they're gonna be a while.
I'm just gonna
Probably
use
before Alina.
the average of their
Everybody
initiative just to
goes
make it a little
before
bit easier.
Alina.
4.
4. Wow. Okay, between the mushrooms and Alina go the rocks. So that is Okramane's turn. Ori, what would you like to do? Billy, you're on deck.
This one's for you, Gunner. I'm gonna steady aim, fire at the hag. Yikes, that's a 16 to hit.
16 is a miss, unfortunately.
Cool. I'm gonna action surge. Take another one. Sorry, Gunner. That's a 19.
19 hits.
Oh, cool. Okay,
Yeah.
that one's for you, Gunner. And then I'm gonna use my last charge to max out them's their. Yeah. Oh, this one might be for you, Gunner. That's cocked, but the others are pretty good. Oh, okay, this one's for you, Gunner.
Just keep.
Is it all for Gunnar?
Everything is for
Everything's-
Gunnar.
It's always for Gunnar.
Matt made some wild promises last week because he wasn't here. He was gonna be like, next week is gonna be so awesome.
9, 3. How's 50 damage feel?
I mean, pretty good.
Oh!
Very, very nice.
I think it
And-
does feel good. I think it feels bad.
If it matters, 21 of that is fire. The rest is the piercing.
No, the full amount. I mean, that all takes. And so, as you fire from this place, this hag like screeches out, and all of a sudden, she is looking real hurt. It went from just kind of like she was limping a little bit to she sinks down to one knee, like one of the rocks swings over her head and just barely misses her, being pelted by inanimate objects and by actual weaponry. She's looking tough. Anything else, Ori?
That's it. No, that's it for me.
Okay. That is your turn, Ori. That brings us to...
Oh, shit! I wanted to use my superiority die for it, too, but
Too late for the superiority die. Billy, what would you like to do?
Billy moves her full movement
Okay.
to join Alina near the front, outside of the sphere of silence.
Okay, so
it
the
would be,
mushroom
like,
probably.
in front of Alina.
Billy only moves 30 feet, so probably just behind Alina.
could have done more for you, Gunnar, but
That's still, I mean, 50 points of damage, pretty good.
all for you.
And then just fired off a good old Eldritch Blast.
Make your attack rolls.
See it.
Alright, so that is an 18 to hit.
18. Second here. It's close. 18 hits.
Alright, and then the other one's 21, so that one
21 hits as well.
Alright, those are both d10s. So that's 14 points and 10 points.
10, 24 points.
And then... Oh, that's not how it goes.
And that's force damage, right?
That's force damage,
Cool.
yes. And then Billy's gonna keep her bardics to her suit.
All right. As you like throw those off, they go. One goes between Oakermane's legs, the other one goes around the side, and it strikes both times. And this individual almost knocked off their feet, but they are still just struggling, looking very nervous now at these rocks. That is your turn, Billy. Okay. So that changes things quite a bit here.
Hags.
Billy's so happy.
Billy's so happy.
Billy's living her best life.
Hell yeah.
There's a huge smile as everything hits.
This hag glares across the battlefield through Oakermane and directly at you, Ori. And from this distance, you could hear her say, "Bod mother tatin," and just she goes ethereal again.
Does Valis hear that?
Where's Valis?
Valis is over there.
Far.
Aww.
Goes ethereal. 5, 10, 15, 20, 25, 30.
No.
She's gonna have to keep moving to get out of my range.
She's ethereal.
Yeah, she's still gonna have to keep moving.
That is her turn. That brings us to Valis.
Okay. All right then. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
Hey, get off me.
And then face step 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, and then hold on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and then I'm going to dash.
Okay.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Then
Let him go.
You like rush forwards and you get to this place where both Billy and Alina have created kind of a traffic jam.
Yeah.
And you just disappear, run full speed, and then reappear a further 30 feet beyond.
then I'm gonna yell at Oakermane. My magic is animating that tree.
Okay. No problem. You yell that.
And
Drop it.
Put your brother down.
Okay. That's your turn, Valis. You are much closer than you were at the start. But that does bring us to these mushroom creatures.
Does it?
Oh, I didn't.
Oh.
Yes, I wanted to get there. Okay. But these mushrooms do make it to the base of Oakerman, and all three are going to take an attack each. Oop, goes at the table. Okay. So the first two grab at him, and you can see Oakerman looks down and says, "Not so fast!" and like rips one of their arms off and casts it aside. The second one goes, and he almost stomps it into the ground, but the third one manages to rake these claws across. And Valis, from where you are, though it is a different kind of material, you notice almost instantly the wood begins to shift and change color and become pulpy and different. And Green is going to make a Constitution saving throw. Does Oakerman get a benefit from you?
Let me see.
An ally.
It would need to be pretty big, like advantage.
He would get +3 if he's an ally.
Okay, so 6 is
think.
not going to make it. He fails his Constitution saving throw, and all at once, Valis, you sense this individual becoming diseased. That is the mushroom's turn, and that brings us to your rocks. Valis, what would your inanimate objects like to do?
My last command was to pummel the hag, so they would just chase it.
Okay.
30 feet.
Okay.
Move 30 feet towards the hag.
Can they dash?
I don't think so. I think they just move 30 feet and...
I was kind of hoping for speed rocks.
Yeah. Oh, that'd be great.
Is anybody able to cast haste?
I wish. I really wish.
I would definitely let you cast haste on an inanimate object. If you really want to. These rocks got a need for speed. So your objects all just float beyond. You can see for just a second, Oakerman continues to hold on, but then he just lets go of this tree after he hears you say that your magic is animating it. He just shakes his head sadly, but it drifts off and into the distance. That is all of the animated objects. Alina. Everybody has caught up to you. What do you want to do?
I had the coolest move plan and then she ran away. Alright. Well, she took my hex with her, so I'm gonna use my bonus action to move the hex.
Okay.
I assume I can still do that even though she ran away.
Yeah, what's the range on Hex?
90 feet?
So she is 40 feet off the board.
Well, wait a second though, because I can hold TF on.
Okay.
I can only move it if she drops to 0 hit points. I can only use the bonus action to move it if she drops to
At the moment, you are, I believe, 145 feet away.
It doesn't matter anyway. She's
Okay.
not 0 hit points.
As far as we know.
Alright, well, time to explode some mushrooms, I guess.
Okay.
Although, can I... Oh, we're gonna make me make a check.
What you doing?
I will come over here. Oh, okay, I can see this guy from where I am, right?
Yeah, from where you are, you absolutely can.
Alright, Eldritch Blast, pop, pop, pop!
Make your
Or
attack
just pop,
rolls.
pop. Pop, pop. Alright, that's a 24 for the first one,
hits.
and a natural 1 on the second one.
That does not hit.
Billy drops to the ground.
No!
Probably would hit Oakerman.
Oh man. Alright, so that's gonna be... Alright, 8 force damage and 3 bludgeoning.
Okay.
Yeah.
One of those mushrooms is starting to look a little rough.
Yeah. I haven't moved at all. I'm gonna... move over here to get out of... Oh, this fucking silence ring is still going. I'm going to move this way to get out of Billy's way.
Okay, you slide around the edge of the building. That is your turn, Alina?
Yeah.
All right, that brings us to the top of the round and to Minka. Minka,
like 10 minutes for
people
that
are just like disappearing around. I know. What you doing?
So the hag is 40 feet off the board.
Yep, and ethereal.
And ethereal still. Okay. So, because I don't think I can get close enough to get within 60 feet of her. Because the furthest I can go.
You just had it on his leggings. They have fabric scissors on them. 7. It's so good.
30, and she's 40 feet. No, she's 10 feet too far. Okay, so I'm instead going to do what I was going to do before, which is go up to the edge of the circle to a point where I can theoretically dispel the magic on the magic circle.
Do you want to
Okay.
be behind it, to the side? Oh, you probably want to be on this side.
Yeah, so you would really need to get like right about where Billy is,
Yeah.
on either side of Billy to do that, because going further than that puts you into the silence.
Yep. All right. See, that's within my range of movement. So I am going to at third level, because I have no idea what's on this thing, cast dispel magic on the circle, and I'm assuming now need to make a roll.
Yes.
Okay.
So go ahead. This is your using ability check using your spellcasting ability.
Yep. All right, it's pretty good. And so it would be just from my wisdom. Okay. Which is plus 19.
19. With a 19, as you cast dispel magic on this stone, you watch as the lights grow just a little bit brighter, and then the stone cracks. And you get a good sense that you have dispelled the magic in that ritual.
Okay.
Nice job.
Sweet.
Very nice.
Okay, and then I will move my final. No, I think that's my final. Because I think there was a diagonal there. Okay, sweet. So then she's gonna turn, and do I have a direct line of sight to one of the mushrooms from here?
Probably that
Yeah.
one.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I'm gonna use my bonus action to do form the archer, and with that shoot the one I can see most clearly.
Okay. So from where you are, all of a sudden, the entire like space, this interior, no longer shrouded in mist. You can see Minka as this glowing beacon in the center.
All right, sweet. I think I hit it because it's a 19 on the die.
19 on the dice. Yes, that will absolutely hit.
All right, yeah, because that's a many. It is a many.
That already hits. Yes.
2 on the double. A total of 7 radiant damage.
7 radiant damage. Still up is this mushroom, and this is the one that is the most hurt, but still up. 7 radiant damage, not quite enough.
Stupid.
Anything else?
That's it.
Alrighty. You end up in the form of the archer. You take that shot, but that brings us to Oakermane. Oakermane cannot cast with these people right up in his face.
You can.
He can, but it's more expedient for him to make melee attacks.
Yeah.
He's going to swing with his arms and take 2 attacks. One is a natural one. The other one, he meets it, beats it. So not great as Oakermane in melee, it seems.
Everything's doing his best.
Hey, you know what? That's 14 points of slashing
He's
damage.
probably
And
more
that
just, like,
is...
flailing around. Like,
As he sees you hit this mushroom, and he turns and he says, "Good strike, blue one!" And he slams this creature down, and you see the bits of like wood that make up its fingers, almost like a knife through Play-Doh, just smushed through. And then the last remaining bits of this mushroom kind of half form back. It's still up, but barely.
Yeah. Yuck.
That is Oakermane's turn, and that brings us to Ori.
So she's about 95 feet away from me right now. If I
She's
get
still
up
ethereal,
here,
right?
She is.
she's still ethereal, but like,
Well, no, I'm just...
like
Surely she
my
can't hold it
bolts are
forever.
still From here, I think I'm within range of not being outside of the normal range. Do I still have advantage from this vantage?
So no, you're rolling flat because you're rolling at somebody who is ethereal, and at this range especially, it's hard to see them is really the trouble.
Then I'm gonna get a little closer,
Okay.
which I believe is up to about here. It doesn't. And then bonus action, I'm gonna use my insightful fighting.
Okay.
So it's against their deception, which I know is gonna be a toughie, but I got pretty good, 21.
27.
Oh,
And they rolled low.
Okay. And then in that case, I'm just gonna make a flat roll.
Okay. You try to insightful fight, but you can't even really see them. You see movement just kind of zigging and zagging, trying to get away from these attacks.
And it's gonna be. It's cocked. Yeah. Natural 20.
Very good. So go ahead and roll
Does a
damage
lot
on
of
that.
good things because I replenish my charges. I use a
Amazing
fourth
gameplay.
charge, and I double all the dice. And this time I am going to use my superiority die, and I'm going to make it into a what's it called? It's the one that's gonna try to knock her prone, which I believe is a strength save. But let me just double check.
Ooh, wait. You said strength. Does it work for saves or just
It's
checks?
checks.
Oh, man.
Yeah, Hex
trip
is
attack.
not a good spell.
Yes, and it's a strength save.
It's a first
DC
level
16.
It's a first level
from it.
Well, and when
So,
you upcast it, it stays for more time.
You watch.
instead
This
of-
is a hit, correct?
Yes.
But this is an individual who's in the ethereal plane.
Yes.
Objects do not interact with things that are in the ethereal plane. Previously, you had waited for this individual, held your action for them to emerge, and then fired. And that was a really good tactic. But this did
I
not.
forgot that.
You did forget.
So, counterpoint. Because I have branded this, and it is a hit,
Correct.
can I still use the branded hit as... Because that is the trigger for the Ruby Crescendo's extra damage. On
As
a
in, like, the
hit,
current brands kind
On
of
a hit.
activate. And
What I'll say is,
on
it
a
says,
hit, I can-
it says creatures that aren't on the ethereal plane can't perceive you and can't interact with you. However, it is not a creature, and it's the brand that's doing it. So I'll say it could take the brand damage.
Okay.
Oh yeah.
That's still a solid 4d8.
They are
And
numbies.
they are doubled
Yeah.
on the die for the natural 20.
They're not, because it's not really a hit. Give me 1 second.
A
Let me
crit
look
is a
at-
crit
see-
though.
Give me 1 second. You're not really getting a hit. You're just getting the
Niche
damage
use
from the
case.
brand. But give me 1 second.
But doesn't that
But
only
the
happen
brand
on
is
a
specified
hit?
on a hit.
Then
Yeah.
it wouldn't happen at all. So if you want to play yourself out of it,
No, I mean, I just want to play it the way.
I'm gonna read. I'm gonna
Yeah.
read how I wrote it, and we'll go off that. That's fine.
Okay. Yeah, because it is on a hit.
When a
so-
creature is hit by an attack, so yeah, does not hit. It cannot hit something in the
almost had
ethereal
it.
plane.
Ah, Gunnar!
Too
I wasted. Okay, well then,
you still
I
get
still
charges
get
back,
my
right?
charges back though, right?
Correct. You do get
Okay.
the charges back.
Damn, that was gonna be such good. I was doing it for you, Gunnar.
That is your turn, Ori.
In the chat, Gunnar just said, "Oh no."
That's it. Yeah, no.
I know. It happened to me too, where I realized, like, wait, this shot isn't really going to hit because it's in the ethereal plane. So it was kind of a slow motion realization.
Also,
for me as well.
not gonna use my last superiority die because that
Correct.
would have had been on a hit. So,
Billy, what would you like to do?
Well,
What you doing, Billy?
Kara's sad. Sorry, I have to get over the sadness that was that triumph.
It was that was
natural 20 was
Oh,
so
man.
cool until it
You
wasn't.
could just keep chasing it.
I mean,
Billy's gonna drop concentration on silence.
Okay.
Because no need.
Ow, ow, ow. You just hear this dog suddenly just begin. It's
Seeing
very
that the
upset.
runic circle is no longer powered. Assume that Ochre, Main, Valis, and Ori, and Valis's many things have the Myconid situation in hand. Billy is going to head over to the dog cage
Okay.
and figure out what the fuck is going on with the dog in a cage.
So you turn, Billy. You go over to the dog in the cage. What check would you like to make to use that? Are you making an insight check?
Yes.
Okay, yeah, make an insight check.
Speak with animals?
can she have advantage because she knows haggy things?
I mean, this. No.
It's worth a try.
Yeah, you know what? Yeah. Why not?
Yes, thank you.
It's vaguely in that
Consolation
vein.
prize.
It's 1 point better, but I'll take it. It's
Yeah.
a 15 instead
15.
of a 14.
So there is something about this. As you get to the door and you hear arf, arf, and then all of a sudden it just looks up at you and then turns, the ears flop over. It's a dog, and it's probably, as you look around, you can see next to this cage there's a number of different items actually. With that check, you see. Okay. You see a small wooden bowl full of shards of glass that have a dull, almost brick red stuff dried to them. You can see there is a small square of metal that seems to be cut out of something. There is a single glass jar with a mote of elemental fire within it. And you can see a big wicker basket that seems to be full of insects that are kind of crawling in and around and over what is a bunch of rotting food. And you see this dog, clad in armor, studded leather armor that seems to be sized for it. It has a sword. It has what looks like a potion of some kind, kind of on like a little belt loop. And it's a Boston Terrier,
yeah.
and it seems like maybe this was a sacrifice. I mean, these are all reagents.
You said she was feeding it stuff, right? Feeding it.
Yes. You don't see what she was feeding it.
I think I was also the one.
Free
the
action,
only one who
take
saw
note
it.
of elemental fire jar.
Sure. Yeah, you can just snag it on the fly. It's right there.
And I assume that was my action.
Sure.
For insight.
Yeah, it's a skill check.
Okay. And then sacrifice of Arctic to Dallas. I think Dallas is the first one that I can say Ochre made better. No, can I see Dallas from here? DM?
Yeah, I think so.
Cool. Billy's gonna give a Bardic to Valis.
Like from either side of that kind of like stone pile, you can definitely see Valis.
Make it worth it, but don't follow them.
So
That is your turn,
don't
Billy.
chase Hag to try to kill
That
Hag.
brings us to Shari.
There's only one here.
She emerges into the material plane.
That's
She's
when
gonna
I should
continue
have
to-
gotten a natural 20.
In my brain.
Sorry, did you just say that she emerged into the material plane?
Correct.
Yeah, but she's still like where,
Okay.
like from.
40 feet off, and then
Ethereal.
she is going to continue. And after she gets 30 feet, you watch as she. One second, I want to mark this off.
She's right behind the DM screen.
You watch as she. Yeah, she's behind the DM screen. You see this huge wormwood wall up here.
It's a wall of mist.
You see that as she steps away, there is a brief shimmer of purple and brown, and then just disappears. Not even reaching the wall of mist, but seeming to step through some kind of an interdimensional door of some kind. And that is going to be her turn. That brings us to Valis.
Man.
You know what? We all make mistakes.
Honestly, I think you guys did awesome. Like,
We didn't kill the
Wanted to kill Hag.
yes, and you got so close.
But did not
If-
kill Hag. Hag gonna go.
Honestly,
If I had
now.
readied the action,
Almost guaranteed.
and I knew that I
Almost
was gonna
guaranteed.
because
I
I said I know she's still in the ethereal
was so
plane, but
happy.
fuck it,
I
and
was
I
so
just
happy
said
when it- yeah.
I want to attack. I wanted to ready the attack. And then I rolled the 22.
Yeah, I know.
Advantage.
That's partially on me too, because I didn't realize till after you rolled it that because she's in the ethereal plane,
My
she's not
heart
going to get a hit.
hurts
I
right
know.
now.
I'm sorry, but off the board is this hag, and the Princess of Valis. Valis, you see this hag disappear. What are you doing?
I'm sorry,
Oh,
kids.
man. Alright,
She's off to get Gunner's kids. Is that what's happening?
I couldn't
Alright.
save him, Gunner. I'm sorry.
bonus action, tell the things to attack the mushroom things.
Okay.
So we'll tell the inanimate objects to attack the mushroom things, and action, you said that it feels like Ochre Main got disease, so I'm gonna use, can I use lay on hands on him to, 5 points to cure disease?
You absolutely can. You use lay on hands, and as you do, there is this pulse of healing, and the wood hardens and kind of crumbles away, and you can see almost like this knot that is formed where the wood had rotted and is now kind of fallen off. It was eating away at him, but you've cured this disease. Anything else, Valis?
Yeah, I'll just move. And now we are. Let's see. How do I even? Can I go on top of this thing? Just like walk.
Yeah. It's just like a hill to break up the.
And that's it.
Okay, so you crest this hill, you look, but you do not see this hag. That is your turn, Valis. That brings us to the mushrooms. All three mushrooms take their attacks against this Ochre Main. All three are going to hit.
Oh.
Uh-oh.
And so now you can see Ochre
Oh,
Main.
thanks. I feel so much better.
Did I I intercept any of those attacks?
Yeah, you have to use your reaction, right? So you can intercept one of them.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. So and a good idea too. So the first one is 17 points of damage. They rolled almost max damage 3 times after rolling horribly the first time.
Really bad.
Oh, wait, let me.
6-4, 6-5, 6-4. Yeah.
Intercept.
Write down these damages before I forget them.
9. It reduces it by 9.
Okay. So the first one goes from 17 points of damage all the way down to 8. Then he takes 12 from the next and 15 from the one after that. And so for a total of 35 points of damage for Ogremane.
Oof.
He's a hardy tree. He'll probably be fine.
And he has to make 3 Constitution saving throws.
We still
Would
have
it be
Alice.
3 or
All you gotta
does,
do is
He gets
I guess-
plus 3 to all of them.
And so as he is struck again and again and again, he tries to batter them away and he says, "Puny creatures, you cannot take down Ogremane." And he reaches back and you can see the magic forming in his fist, but that is all that the mushrooms can do. That brings us to your rocks.
Yeah. Oh, you're rocking.
So they turn around and go 5, 10, 15, 20,
They go 30 feet.
30 feet.
Yeah.
Here under the tree, and the tree's under 2, so the tree can actually get into attack range.
Alright, so it's gonna attack that one.
Battle tree.
Crush it.
You stand side by side with your battle tree.
You should just like drop, have it fly up, and then just drop on both of them.
I was going to pick up the hag and drop her back into the sea.
Oh, that would have been really dope, yeah.
And I haven't had a chance to use that cool spell that you wrote for me yet.
What you doing?
When she ran, I was miserable.
15
You were miserable.
to hit.
15 to hit. 15 is a hit, just barely.
Alright. This is the huge tree, so it does 2d12 damage.
Wow.
24 tree damage.
24 tree. And against which one?
I guess the one closest to it.
Okay, 24 points of tree damage. All of a sudden, you watch as this creature goes from being a little bit hurt to almost dead. You smash half of it away in its entirety. It's looking real rough, fellas. Both that and the one that is on the other side of it are looking in rough shape.
Oh, so we're spreading the damage pretty well.
There's one that's completely unhurt, and then 2 that are almost dead. So, you know. That is your turn, or that is the rock's turn?
Yeah.
Alrighty, Alina, what would you like to do?
Cry.
Free action.
I guess I'll Eldritch Blast the one that's closest to me again.
Okay.
So I'll do 1 bolt at a time. Oh no, it's 11 to hit.
11 to hit is a miss, unfortunately.
Yeah, and the second
accidentally
one, that's better, 25.
25 absolutely hits. Which one are you targeting?
This one.
Cool. Roll damage on that.
I will. Okay. 9 force damage and 3 bludgeoning.
And that Eldritch Blast just takes the very last vestiges of this. Ogremane had smashed it down. The last little bits had clumped together to form this weird half mushroom creature. And then your Eldritch Blast hits it right in the center and it just bursts. And you see it try to reform, but just like slough off into goo. Anything else, Alina?
How many blasts do you have?
That was both of them.
Yeah.
Okay.
I guess not.
Alrighty.
Yes, I'm good. I forget what it is.
Brings us to the top of the round into Minka.
Probably 10. Alright. So 11. 5, 10. Great. So I'm going to get up to Sir Maine here.
Mr. Maine.
Mr. Maine.
Please, Sir Maine was my father.
And I'm going to cast a level 1 Cure Wounds on Sir Maine.
Okay.
Which I believe is 1d8 plus 5. I just want to double check because I always use the other one. Yes, it's 1d8. Oh my god, minimum. But I do get a d4 from the. Oh my god, that's so fucking
The
stupid.
most minimum.
No, it's a 4 on the D4
Nice.
from the sickle, but a
Hey.
1 on the D8. 10,
Easy come, easy go.
So as you cast 5 points of healing from this
10
spell.
points of healing.
Sorry, 10 points of healing.
It's 4 on the D4 from the sickle,
Okay.
so it's a total of 10 points of healing.
As you cast this,
the cage
you can
with
see Oakermane just turns and looks for a second and looks and goes, "Don't feel bad, every bit helps," and turns around again. But that is anything else, Mika?
So, if I were to attempt to use a ranged attack through Oakermane, am I doing it at a disadvantage? Or is it just a normal attack?
From where you
This is one
are,
of those, you
I
might
think
kill someone else.
I think that they
Yeah.
would benefit from cover.
Okay.
And Oakermane is kind of that cover, and so if you miss very badly, yeah.
Yeah. And I don't have
Is
a
it
good...
good?
Track record.
No. But I still don't have a very good track
For
record.
what it's worth, though, Guiding Bolt hit that person because they were status grappled by that creature.
Yeah.
So nothing is grappling Oakermane at this moment.
Like the Goku shooting Piccolo through the chest.
Very much like that, yeah. except it
There's
only
one
shot
here.
below the chest.
There's one here on
I
this
think
side.
that got killed.
Oh, is one of them dead?
Oh yeah,
That
I
one.
killed
Yes, that one was
one
dead.
died. Yeah. So instead, I will cast guidance on Oakermane.
You cast Guidance.
Nice.
That brings us to Oakermane's turn. And Oakermane, as he's like finished saying, like, don't feel bad, every little bit helps, he says, "And I can take care of these." And he is going to take 2 attacks against. Well, we'll take a hit attack against the first one that's wounded. That will hit.
True.
And that
Doesn't
will
really
deal
do anything.
17 points of damage, which is more
only
than
for
enough.
delicious.
You watch as he takes with 2 of his arms. He has one hand that's gesturing to you. The 2 arms on the side grab this mic in it and just rip it in half. And it drops down. And then the final 4th arm swings, and then it's going to be a 14, which is a miss.
I'm on the other side. Does he get flanking?
Yes, it
Flanking.
does.
Oh, we flanking, boys.
We flanking.
And that is going to be a hit.
Tanking.
As he slams down on this, that is a cocked dice. That is 16 points of damage. And the lone Myconid that is left, as he took out that other one there as well, perfect, is starting to look a little rough. That one hit almost dropping down half of its health. But that is all that Oakermane is able to do. Ori.
From here, is it very clear that this hag has disappeared?
From where you are, you saw them cast a spell and then step through a shimmering purple door, and then that door closed behind them.
Is it similar to any, like, I've seen Dimension Door plenty of times at this point. Did it seem like Dimension Door, or was it
Yes.
something else? So she's still pretty close. Potentially.
Potentially.
I'm gonna move my distance to about here,
Okay.
and then I'm gonna use my bonus action Eye for Detail to suss out any hidden creatures or objects.
Okay, yeah, go for it. 19. You look around. Let me be fair about this here. Okay. Pretty easy to see as it's brightly colored. Off on the right-hand side, as you look up, you see in the trees the very first bird that you've seen in this entire forest. Brightly colored. It looks like a mockingjay, although the coloring is very different. It's like almost luminous blue, and so quite easy to see. But aside from that, nothing.
Is this like a particularly strange bird that would, like, it's the only
They
bird
exist
that I've
on this
seen?
continent. They're around, but like you haven't seen any other animals here.
Right, so I guess I'm gonna use my action to insight. Is this like the other hags keeping watch on us or something?
Make an
Is this
insight
like,
check.
because it's weird that there's a bird here after the hag just disappeared. Is this like the other hags keeping tabs or something?
Or is it
Insight
like
check.
now she's a bird?
Or now she's, did she like polymorph into
The
a
whole time there's just a single bird being like,
Nice.
I'm here.
28. Woo.
28. This is certainly not a natural creature. As you see, you turn your head, and almost in a mocking manner, it turns its head and kind of like copies you. every time that you kind of like shift your eyes looking around for this creature, it's almost like exactly mirroring your images, and that's weird. It doesn't seem to you to be malevolent in the way that a hag is, but there's something weird about it for sure.
I'm not gonna use my action surge to attack it.
Yeah, we got speaking
That's
of
it.
animals boy here.
Okay.
That's all. Yeah, that's all. That's my action,
Valis is
bonus
doing,
action,
really.
move action.
That is your turn, Ori. You look at this Mockingjay. That brings us to Billy.
Billy's gonna try to crack open the cage and at least like get rid of some of the reagents for the ritual.
Okay. Are you going to make an attack roll to try to like slash? Okay, make an attack roll.
Oh, sorry. Damn. I would have used my action surge if I had looked and seen it, Gunner. I would have shot it. I'm sorry.
So it's
Everything I do is for you.
Why is Gunner holding your strings tonight?
Huh?
Because I have to entertain Gunner.
You slash
owe
down,
him.
and though you
I
hit-
promised him.
This is a metal cage. I mean, it's not doing a ton of damage to this. And looking around, you would imagine there's probably a mechanism that you could use to open it that would be more efficient. But anything else, Billy?
Billy's just gonna kind of
Probably
look
put my
around
kids
and see
away.
if anyone needs help and realize no one does.
Yeah,
It's
you look
fine.
around. The dog just kind of barks its encouragement to you.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that's kind of all that you got. That brings us to Valis.
Good idea for us.
All right, I'll attack this last mushroom guy.
Sword and he's
First
wearing
attack.
leather armor. That's better than what the horses had. He has an actual AC.
He's encouraging you.
First attack, a 23 to hit,
Dispel.
23 hits.
and that will
This is not
be
just a dog.
10 slashing. Is it still up?
10 slashing. It is still up.
Second attack. 19 on the die and not a natural. So 26 to hit
26 hits.
and 6 slashing.
Valis. Tell us how it happened.
All right. So I take my sword and I slash at it, and then almost in mirroring my sword, the big log also just comes down on it.
Phenomenal. So from everybody who is behind, you can see Valis rushes forwards, the sword comes up, and as it does, the log almost imperceptibly just lifts just a little bit higher. You see dirt come down, and then Valis brings down a slash that completely bisects this myconid, and as the myconid begins to reform, this tree just slams it down, and it sprays all throughout this clearing. It gets on Okerman, Minka, even on your feet. It gets just barely in the spray zone. This is a Blue Man Group performance. But you are all out of initiative, and because it is 9:06, we'll take a quick break. And then we'll come back and finish up this session. But thank you for sticking with us for this, and we'll be right back. Welcome back to Adventures in Alberon, Courts of Everest. Thank you for sticking with us through the break if you did. If you're just joining us, welcome to some D&D. Our party has just completed a combat, not quite managing to vanquish the hag who escaped in a flash of Dimension Door, but you were able to stop a ritual. And for what it's worth, that's pretty good. Billy, you are inspecting this cage in which there is what looks like a Boston Terrier in armor. What are the rest of you doing?
I have a mechanics question real quick.
Yeah.
Would you say that I was able to see the hag well enough to use locate creature?
Yeah. So here's the thing. So very specifically, locate object says 30 feet.
I was not within 30 feet.
And you weren't within 30 feet at first, so I think
Right.
based on that kind of criteria, probably not.
At one point, Minka was here when the hag was in this area, right?
No, I was
No?
never that close.
Oh, dang.
So the closest I got was before the battle
I
started.
describe it to you?
That we'd have to.
In the
talk
same
through,
way
but
that it didn't work for locate object, it probably wouldn't work great for locate person.
I'm
I
thinking
have to
of
be familiar with them.
teleporting with...
Yes, you could. Oh yeah, teleporting is great. You could teleport wherever you want. Try.
Right.
I'd like to
Yeah.
ask Okerman where he'd like me to lay his brother down to rest, and I point to the big animated tree.
He looks up at it and he reaches up with like all four arms and he says, "Release him to me."
Stop concentrating.
Kind of like strains under the weight of an entire tree, but slowly and gently lowers it to the ground, and you can see seems to be like regarding it for a time, trying to see if there is anything worth salvaging.
I'm gonna wander over. Oh no, sorry. I'm going to carefully and thoroughly search the entire clearing, hoping to find a waistcoat, including whether the dog is wearing one. Because,
Make an investigation check.
thank you. Because I'm moving so carefully and thoroughly, can I? Does anything, change?
No.
I'm like staring up at this bird, and then I'm going to turn back and probably...
I got a natural one.
You look under every single pebble that you can find, and not a waistcoat in the bunch.
I'm gonna go complain to Billy about it. Billy, where's the waistcoat?
You return to the group, Ori?
Specifically, I was heading towards Billy.
Okay.
But back towards the group.
Okay.
Someone help me get this door open.
Alina's gonna
go
try to
over.
help. She's all dejected because she was hoping the waistcoat was gonna be around here somewhere, but
The back of this cage does have a padlock that is currently holding it shut. And so that can swing out on hinges like a door.
who can pick a lock?
I could take a peek
I
at
said
that.
walk back and try to help.
Hey,
Go ahead.
Valis, come here. I don't want to let this thing out until we have a word with it.
That's a good point.
You can see the small dog just sits.
Have a word with it.
I start to walk by, and then I kind of get distracted by this thing. Does this thing look very similar to the face circle, stone circle thing?
No, I mean they're stacked in humanoid-shaped stones, and so yes, that looks similar, but they're not arranged in a circle. Whoever made those, probably similar to whoever made these, but these don't seem to be part of a ritual. And that, in your mind, make an Arcana check.
Should I do the... Well, I'll wait to do the lock-picking check.
18.
With an 18, you get the sense that that means that these stones, innately in and of themselves, not a part of a ritual, the ones that you had seen in the circle had these runes etched into them, and that was the circle itself. And Valis, for what it's worth, that leads you to an understanding that a phase circle does not need to be anything other than a circle. There are various things that it could probably be formed from, like leaves, like sticks, all kinds of things, really.
I look around to see if we're in a circle.
In the moment, you are not. And when you think about it, really, like there are lots of circles that you are in, the planet, a circle. But at the moment, you don't seem to be within one.
Okay, so we should
Alright, and then I'm gonna turn over and
don't step in any circle.
see what Ori
Never
wanted.
again.
How injured does Okermane look?
So looking at Oakermane, he's not terribly rough off. When he had taken the maximum amount of damage that he had, it still wasn't a tremendous amount. He just looked sick, but no longer. You saw Valis lay on hands and cure whatever disease ailed him.
So I'm gonna drop the form of the archer, so I'm not just glowing in the middle of the mist anymore.
Sure.
We're on the mist.
We're in a
This is a
literal
clearing.
So I'm not glowing in the middle of the clearing anymore.
That's why you like were like a beacon in that
Yeah.
light, and not really creating that same effect that you had before.
Oh, the clearing is kind of circular.
Valis, could you?
Oh my god, who is this cute little guy? Speak with animals.
You
Hey
cast.
there. What's up, dogs?
Oh god,
You better not have named this dog Pond.
that's so upsetting. Oh,
My sweet boy.
so you kind of speak with the animals. You talk to this dog who is just like sitting there, kind of looking at Billy and Alina, who are like futzing around with the door, and you can see Ori approaching from the distance. But you say, "What's up, dog?" The dog looks at you. The head turns, and the dog says, "I understand you.
Yes, I'm using magic right now.
What's that?
Huh?
What's that?"
Oh no.
You can see it stands up. Both paws go up on the bars. Tail begins to wag a little bit.
I take out some like rations and start to feed it. Oh, it's just something that lets me talk to creatures such as yourselves. Do you
It
have a
licks.
name?
It licks a little bit, and it kind of just says, "I'm not really hungry, but maybe later you could save that for me."
Sure.
Great. What did you say? Sorry, I'm a little bit distracted.
Are you always a dog?
What?
You always
This might be an odd question, but are you always a dog, or these hag?
They just put me in this dog right here.
Oh.
So is this thing?
What?
You could see, kind of bites the cage a little bit.
Certainly seems like a dog.
I think it is. Do you have a name, little guy?
Little guy.
What do they? Oh, little guy. I
Into
am
the
valid.
database he goes.
I'm gonna start picking the lock. I'm like, this is just a fucking dog.
You don't want to be in this game,
Make a
right?
lock picking check. This is a cage?
Yes.
No. Don't want to be in a cage.
Okay,
Guidance.
we're gonna help get you out of there.
Thank you.
Okay.
Thank you.
How did?
I think it's probably gonna be fine.
How did you get in here?
I got put in here.
Where are you from?
I don't really know. I'm around. I remember woods. I remember. Spins really quick in a circle.
He is gonna be freed, I imagine.
Spins really quick in a circle. Hey, there's something following me. Spins in a circle,
See if
stops.
I can get it.
100% just a dog.
I try to grab him.
Yeah.
And I try to pull the tail. Is it this?
Oh, that's just me. Sits down again.
I'm going to.
The 28, easy enough. This is like a pretty run-of-the-mill. It's an older lock, and so it sticks with rust and corrosion more than anything, but you pop it, no problem. You open it.
I grab the dog like by the thing he's wearing because I don't want him to run off.
By his
Kind of pick him up by this little leather harness. And as you do, you note there is a very real sword that seems to be like almost weirdly miniaturized, like somebody made a very fine sword for a tween. You also see that this there's a potion that is attached to them, and there's a number of like compartments and what looks like maybe like a backpack that is slung across them as well, although that has been opened and seems to be empty at the moment.
Hey, Minka.
Yes.
I think I've seen you cast a spell where it turns things into other creatures,
Yes, I can do that.
and when you do, they don't remember what they were before, right? They are. Could that have happened to whatever
So-
it is that we're looking at here?
Hey, Valis, can you put me down?
Oh, I'm not holding him up.
Oh,
I'm
okay,
kind of
okay.
like holding him in
Cool.
place. In fact, I want to grab some rope and make
Yeah,
a
make a leash.
Okay.
I was a rat for a bit, and I still knew who I was. I just was also dumb.
Your
Oh, right.
mind is attacked,
I forgot about that.
but it does adjust to the form. So you would have your memories, but you might not think the same.
I have memories.
If he was changed into a dog, would he, like, if he had been a dog for a really long time,
I'm not sure, but the
What do you
spell that
remember?
I know
I remember the woods.
eventually.
I remember the woods, and I remember people like him. And he kind of gestures, almost like a
Stronger
pointing dog
magic
at
would
Ori.
Be more permanent, but
But they didn't sound like him. They had funny voices.
What?
He says he remembers people like you.
Like
Can you
elves?
Or like,
ask
maybe
him,
from the
Humanoids.
Matriarchy?
ask him if there are any familiar smells around. That might be easier.
Are there any familiar smells around?
Kind of sniffs around. You can see he just growls. The thing that took me is nearby. I don't know what she's called, but she's here. And the other
She's
one.
called a hag.
The one
hag.
Just
Yeah.
No. The one that took me. The one that took me.
I can't.
Oh yeah, you can't say anything.
yeah, no, none of us
was
are part
just-
of this.
This hag, then, it's somewhere nearby. Or it has been.
He can track her.
Oh,
I
here.
smell a bird.
He smells bird.
I smell a deer.
Over there
Smells deer.
with them.
It might.
Wait.
Let him cook.
It's a deer.
Okay.
So,
Why do you have a sword? I point to the sword that he has.
Kind of just looks and just goes, it's part of me.
Makes sense.
I'm gonna investigate the circle a little bit closer to see if I can put together what magic was happening.
Make an Arcana check.
Can I also make an
am I
Arcana
doing
check
this?
just from, witnessing all the components
Yeah,
here?
yeah.
6.
Okay.
Billy's gonna kind of look around the rest of the area and just see if there's anything else of note or of use that would relate to.
Okay, make a, I would say for that then, make a,
Tag specific search.
Guidance on Billy because she hasn't rolled.
make a history check at advantage, Billy. And then, Minka, you said 6.
And I got an 8.
It's arguable if this is a circle. Now that it's cracked in half, it's really more of like an oblong. And I would say it's hard because these, you don't read giant.
Nope. Or Sylvan.
I do,
Elements of this
if you
are
need
in
to read
Sylvan and Giant. And so, Minka, for you especially, really hard to make heads or tails of this.
I have no.
Yes.
I can't read any of this.
so, have you ever seen something like how she got away? She went through a portal, disappeared suddenly. Do you know where she might have gone? Is she still nearby?
I don't know. She could have been anywhere. Billy got a 15 for the history.
Okay.
Ask the dog to track down the...
I
So
think
you
that's
look
a good
around.
idea.
And you kind of take a glance. You can see some elements left over of the reagents that people have kind of either taken or scattered. So you do find some bits of glass. That's kind of it. I mean, you found this dog. You've seen an actual hag themselves. But I will say, Billy, this ruin, not a home. This is just a place that is being used because it's shelter a little bit from the outside, but definitely not a home, not a camp. This isn't even really like a rest stop. This is just a place that happened to be convenient at the time. That's really all you'd find.
Well, thankfully, it's whatever we did. We interrupted something, and
She's probably still close by. I think she was not looking very good.
Why don't we ask the dog if he can find her? Because if we can finish her off,
I'm
then...
gonna look for anything
Hey.
that may have her scent.
Little guy.
Okay, make an investigation check.
Do you
knows what
remember
it smells like.
what that hag that was just standing here and what she smells like?
Yeah,
Can you find her?
yeah,
Can you track her and find her?
yeah.
All right.
I'll go.
Okay. Here, in case you lose me, you want to get a good sniff of me?
Okay. He gets close and just kind of. Okay.
Okay. I don't know.
I don't know how dogs
I don't know
work.
how
That's how it works in Baldur's Gate 3. I don't know.
Can we
Dog
summon him now?
takes a
Literally
couple
how it
steps
works in
back
Baldur's Gate 3.
and just says, "All right, follow me," and then just takes off and into the mist.
Well, he was like, hell yeah, man.
All right, I run after the dog.
Wait, you had him on a leash,
Oh, I had him on a
didn't you?
leash.
Yeah.
Okay, yeah. So you're just
So
jogging along behind it. Yeah, no
yes.
problem.
Y'all ready?
I guess we're running.
The house is 30 feet
Chasing
away.
after
I'm running.
Yeah, we're
Stay together.
chasing.
Yeah, I don't want the part. I mean,
Don't split the party.
Even if he is just a hag in disguise, don't split the party.
No problem.
I'm looking for like physical traits of like, a blood trail or something
Yeah.
from the hags.
Make a survival check, then.
As we're like
Yeah,
running
make a
through.
survival check.
I would like to. Oh, it hasn't been 10 minutes yet, because I might get a chance to use this
Has it been 10 minutes since I gave Vincent Bardic?
during the fight.
Ooh, that feels good.
Yeah, sure. You can.
There you go.
For the fact that
Oh man.
Aw, the universe is.
Wait.
Yeah, you can do it.
we're back, baby.
Oh, you-
Happy New
I'm
Year.
asking if I
Bardic.
still have Bardic.
You don't still have it, but if you wanted to give it again, you could.
She's been reaching for her die back.
Sorry.
And Vincent doesn't want to give it because he doesn't know if it's like he's got like 30 seconds left of it.
Yeah.
Listen, I'm holding on to it because I need to know if I need to make an animal handling check. That
Fair.
dice will probably save my life.
Very true.
A minute or two since she disappeared.
I'm gonna
at
get
this
as close
point?
as I can.
Probably
to
closer to like
Howling
5 at
Palace,
this
and
point
just,
because you had to open the lock and you've been
Yeah,
talking to this
true,
dog.
true.
At this point, I would say, Ori, you do notice that there is little bits of blood that lead to about 40 feet away from the edge of this map. And then as you get to there, the dog kind of stops and just, she's here.
No,
She sits down.
she tell.
Wait.
All right, so
she
the
here?
dog has found the spot in which she left and has stopped.
She was able to move away from here without
So
dropping
I think
smells. Are you able
the dog
to
cannot
figure
smell
out which
her
direction that is in?
anymore, which means
No. She's here. I can smell it. Ends right here.
probably
And you can see the dog just buries their nose in the dirt a little bit, goes under the
Very
mud, and then
close.
pulls it up and like digs a little clod out and almost flings it at you. Here.
I feel like
Wait.
Do you want to ask
Wait,
if the dog wants
here?
to travel with us?
And Billy points like down into the ground. Like, do you have to dig to get it? Yeah.
Can't.
Do we have to dig to get it? Wait, never mind. I don't fucking
can't
understand what
understand
a
the
dog
dog.
is.
You
Yeah.
see the dog just.
Well,
What's it
Ask
doing?
it doesn't seem to be here, but it's kind of dangerous in these woods.
So-
Do you want to come with us?
Okay.
Okay.
Little guy!
I think
Protect little guy at all costs!
we should still try to find her if there's a chance that she's around. Do you
I think so,
have
too.
any idea?
If we want to use
if
little
a hag
guy-
is on her last leg, as it were, where would a hag go to recover?
Unfortunately, with the others,
What if?
So I
they're
do
stronger
think
together.
right, but one is severely weakened at the moment and may be able to lead us to them. Is that something that we should do? Or do we wait for her to recover and then be more on their guard?
Neither of them are good options, to be honest.
He's got a point.
I have
Which
a
is why
suggestion.
I'm asking you, given your better understanding of the situation.
There's a chance that if we were to come upon them, they could potentially restore her to her full power, and we would just be fighting all three of them at full strength.
Right.
But there's also a chance that you're right, and we happen upon them at the same time that she
Right.
does.
And right now the time is ticking, so if we were to go after them, what would you suggest?
What do you mean?
I mean, which direction should we start heading?
I have no more idea than you do.
Would she have gone in like the direction that she ran? Is it possible that that's the direction of the coven?
I mean, do we have any way of knowing?
Can you do your thing again to follow these trees?
I can.
You saw what she was holding, so you could, right? Like she had stuff with her. So why don't you pick something that she had on her, like her clothing or something?
Can I describe everything that I saw on the hag from my...
You can do it as much as you want, but it's still not like teleport. And
No,
it's
just
still
to
gonna
help paint the picture for...
Yeah.
The issue is
for-
that
sure.
Minka.
You
it's
can.
I would
Use
have
those
to
words.
know
It
the
won't
thing,
benefit her.
unless it would have to be something really unique. You know, because I wasn't that close. I didn't get
Was
a good
there
look at
anything
her.
really unique?
What was
that
she holding? Anything
don't-
like staff, anything like that?
She had been feeding something to this dog.
The meat.
Let's ask the dog what he was eating.
Hey, what was that hag feeding you?
Something crunchy and meaty.
Very good.
Yeah. Do you have any? Your food.
All I've got is chocolate, but
no.
So
All right,
I would suggest that we.
Are you gonna offer it?
I have an idea. We
How
could
dare
ask the
you.
dog. The track of this hag is lost when she teleported. We can ask the dog to track the other being that took him and brought him here.
But we're after the hags.
That might be. It might be one
The
of the
other-
hags. So
All right.
it's
So
the
do
only
we
other
fo-
suggestion
does
I
it
have,
know-
unless you wanna.
Does it smell any of them? Does it know what a hag is?
At the very
And
least,
It's a dog.
if we have him with us, there's a decent chance that maybe
Right,
while
well,
we're walking around the forest.
I'm not
yeah, he'll
saying
catch
we
the
leave the
smell
dog.
again.
It's
I don't know
possible.
what we're not arguing about leaving the dog.
We're not
outside.
arguing at all. I think
No,
we're
it's-
just.
Shouldn't have the dog's belt.
We need to
Okay.
move. Quickly while we have
You
some-
go and you look at it. It's a green potion. You can see the fluid kind of sparkles a little bit, and as you move, it is the opposite of viscous. It moves very easily in the bottle.
Billy uncorks it and kind of gives it a sniff.
Okay, make an Arcana check at advantage.
That's a 21.
This is a very peculiar potion. The smells are entirely unique to you, but you know what this does. The spells are unique because whatever ingredients these are from a faraway place. But this is a potion of haste.
Well, wait.
As you take that off, you can hear this dog just kind of goes, and you hear, hey, and then looking up at you, the dog goes, she's taking something from me, and you just hear,
The dog says you took something from him.
Yeah,
We do not have time for this.
but we need to keep
Right.
going.
Yeah.
I gotta keep that. Tell her I gotta keep that.
So
give
can
him
the
his
dog
potion
show
back.
us
We'll
where
take
we're
the dog
going or
with
not?
us.
Because we need to make a choice here.
I say we head in the same direction and hope that the dog picks up her scent once we're farther away from the blood trail.
All right. So
Unless I'm open to ideas. It's
What
just
was your
you're right,
check,
we're
Billy?
running
I
out
say
of
we
time.
follow north
Arcana check.
Yeah.
where the trees were heading.
All right.
I would say with the 21, you get the sense that there's probably more to it than just a simple potion of haste, but you can't for the life of you. It's not the potion. There's something about this bottle and this dog, and something is just really ticking at you, but it's like you just can't quite get it,
I'm assuming that
but close.
the dog was going to be the focus
God,
of
it's
something.
close.
We've seen like the slad, right, was something else once. So we know they can transform things.
When you say that word, the dog's ears go down a little bit, and you hear this dog say, "What'd you say?" That's the thing that the shelly coats have. No slide, no slide.
What's a shelly coat?
I don't know. But they have one. Don't like it.
What's a shelly coat? What is
The
a
dog
shelly
says
coat?
that that's something that the shelly
Make
coat
a history check at disadvantage.
Can I make one too? It's such a weird word.
I think for you, no.
disadvantage isn't even gonna matter.
Where are the shelly coats?
Damn. Would have been good. That's not. That's disadvantage.
I remember the woods. I remember.
Do you remember anything before the woods?
No, always been in the woods. Buildings in the woods, though, but not here.
Can you find? Oh, sorry. I don't know what's being said.
What was that, Matt?
It was a 6. It would have been a dirty 20.
But the six, no idea. It sounds like some kind of a high fashion. You know, Alina's been looking for a coat of some kind, and maybe
Maybe
that's
the
what it
shelly
is.
coat's the waistcoat.
Okay.
All right.
Cool. So
They have the waistcoat, so even more reason for you. We need to move. I think.
I agree with
North.
you.
Alright.
Let's go north, and if this dog can pick up a scent, then we follow the dog.
Yeah.
All right, let's go.
Let's
Little
go.
guy,
Can
we're
you
gonna
tell
head
the-
north.
yeah.
If you smell anything familiar, let me know, and we're gonna follow you. My magic doesn't let me talk to you forever, so pretty soon you may not be able to understand me. Also, you're a very good boy.
You see the tail starts wagging. He goes, "Oh, I don't know why, but I like that. I like that a lot."
All right, And we head north.
Little guy, the good boy. Just tugging on
Can
a
you
leash
be
and
more
like walking
specific?
forward.
Don't not just anything he
And,
recognizes. He said he smelled deer. Like, be more specific.
Oh, like if you smell the hags or the buildings that you mentioned.
Yes.
Okay.
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 Anything bad that we would want to fight.
Anything bad? There's a mean bird around here. I know. I can smell it.
Birds are mean.
Oh,
No,
What do
we're
you
gonna
mean
go
birds are mean?
Birds are mean.
Can we go?
I'm going.
I'm like
we're going.
100.
Begins to kind of walk, no longer pulling on the leash. It stays a good like foot or two in front of you, but just walking along like a dog might. You make your way further north.
I'm like at a jog because I'm trying to be. I'm in like tracker mode.
Okay.
You know, like
So
Are you far away from us?
not far away. Like I'm in
He's,
line
like,
of
gotten
sight.
ahead,
I'm
yeah.
just like I'm running to try and stay a pace of this injured hag.
Billy would shout, "We should still stick together."
Right, but we also I'm looking. I'm looking for anything because we need to try and track it down.
hey,
if we're gonna
Valis,
get
and you're
advantage.
coming right to the end of your spell, but he says you should tell your friends to be really quiet because there's lots of people here working for those people.
I tell the group.
You continue
Yeah,
to
we're
walk.
going. Like, yeah.
Let's try to. I guess we should try to sneak in if we're bad at it.
wait.
It will be slow.
As we're jogging along, Minka just thinks about the Emerald of Control, the Control Stone, and I was like, wait. The Shellycoats have slats? Is that what they said? I'm gonna
Yeah,
cast
the dog doesn't like slads.
locate object on a control stone
Okay.
to look for
Like a functional one.
Another
Yeah, yeah.
one.
Okay.
I like it.
So you cast locate
Have him
object,
Sniff the control stone, too.
and is the range is 1,000 feet. There's nothing, unfortunately, aside from the one in your possession.
Okay, so I'll keep
But a good
it up.
idea.
And then if I'm assuming by the 10 minutes up, there's nothing, but I'll hold it for the full 10 minutes.
Sure, no worries. As you guys head north, you continue to hold this locate object, looking for
this
a
way.
control gem of some kind. As you are walking, is anybody else doing anything, or is keeping track, looking for these signs of the hag anywhere?
I will also try to look around. I mean, I'll be looking, doing survival checks, basically. Like
Okay, make a survival check.
trampled branches, and, I'm a woods gal. I know stuff.
Can
Absolutely.
I also do that
Sure.
with my?
I don't think I've rolled above
Tracking.
10 tonight.
Looking for hag fuckery.
Yeah.
So would you like to make a perception check or an arcana check?
I suppose it'd be an arcana check
Okay.
because I'm looking for hag stuff.
Sure.
Eight.
The woods are all around you.
They sure are, man.
I like to make
18.
note that I'm still marking trees.
Okay, with your chalk, you still mark trees. Yeah. Yeah, you do. What was yours?
18.
An 18. With an 18, you bend down low, and as you are looking, you notably do not find any blood. This dimension door spell, while it is relatively short range, they use that opportunity to do something. Whether it's heal themselves or change form or in some way disguise their path, because you can't really find anything. Well, not precisely. You do find footsteps. And much like the Herringons, they were light, but these are not Herringon footsteps. They're much larger. They're humanoid, but larger than anybody in your party by a little bit.
Can I try to discern what would have made these?
Make a make a nature check.
17 for hag fuckery.
Okay.
Do I get the?
Pretty good for hag
Do
fuckery.
I get the advantage?
No.
Portals.
15.
Okay. So, Billy, with your 17, as you are looking around, you do not immediately see any signs of what you have called hag fuckery. Also, thank you for following us, Demon Squirrel.
Excellent.
Very apropos name. And as you're looking around, there is something that catches your eye. After walking for about 10 minutes, Billy, you notice a very rudimentary pitfall trap. It's very obvious to you. What's a little bit less obvious about it is that from beneath the elements of leaves that have been scattered across some piece of fabric there does seem to be a faint glow that hints at magic.
Billy's gonna like point out the trap and stop anyone if they get close to it, and then like take some kind of fallen detritus
Okay.
and
So you watch as Billy
Fabric, you
takes
say?
a
Magic fabric?
takes a rock and just hucks it at the waistcoat. The waistcoat just drops down an endless hole. You take the rock about fist-sized and you throw it. And as you do, it hits this area that looks like ground. And you watch as Billy just throws a rock at some leaves, and then a roughly 5-foot space just pulled down. The leaves kind of float down, and there is a pit. And Billy, as you kind of get a little closer and peer in, it drops about 25 feet, but that's it. There is no spikes at the bottom. There's no vicious snakes or monsters. Make a perception check. You're not even really sure where this glow is coming from. It's like the soil itself is giving off a faint luminescence.
16.
A 16? There's something in this soil, but you can't quite make out what it is.
Can I sidle up and see if I can figure it out as well?
Yeah.
See what she's trying to look
Billy
at.
kind of gestures. Make a perception check.
Guidance.
With
Natural
guidance.
20!
Oh, let's go.
Finally!
We'll add that D4 just in case.
Yeah. You know what? I will. Natural 20 for a total of perception.
Yeah.
25.
25. So
Enhance.
you look and then you squint. And as you squint, it's like little bits of mud slide out of the way, and you see a small, very purposely carved rune stone that had been pushed into the mud. And it dances with very similar glyphs to the one that you had seen in that ugly magic circle that Minka had broken. And something about it, it feels bad to look at. And it, for that natural 20, you get the sense that there's more than just this one. It's part of a larger system of these runes that together have a collective effect.
I'd like to use my mage hand to pick it up.
Okay.
Can I like inspect it closer? Is there anything about like can I read the runes? Like is there anything now that I can hold it like up to my eye that I notice?
You stretch out your mage hand, and as it grasps and goes to reach, as it touches the stone, disappears, and your mage hand is dispelled.
Huh.
What was that?
I explain what happened, and I'm like, does it dispel magic? Is it a dispello magic ghost stone?
That doesn't make much sense.
I know.
If it was the same as the ones in the runes in the what we were looking at,
Tracks
those
are
are
made
transforming
made
ones.
What was your check?
Well,
15.
assumedly. So, they capture something, and then it gets transformed or moved?
A humanoid between 200 and 250 pounds.
Say what you said before.
Oh,
Maybe I think
turtles?
these don't look like turtle tracks, do they?
They look humanoid, and turtles really look more turtle. Like
Oh, just shelly coats.
Shelly coats, yeah.
I think shells, turtles,
that's smart.
shells.
I like that. Yeah.
Very smart.
Um,
I don't know if we have time to stay. I want to take it with us, but I don't know if I should touch
well,
Take what with us?
there are
it.
tracks.
Oh,
here.
I've pointed it out to
Isn't the
everybody.
stone gone? I thought you said the stone disappeared.
No, the mage hand was dispelled as it touched the stone.
Oh, okay.
I could try to break the spell on it. I don't know.
Well,
I mean, the runes are the same as
does this look like anything
the.
I've seen?
Make an Arcana check. At disadvantage.
Does damage make the hand go away? Did it maybe damage the mage hand?
Some magic shit.
Nope. And I think the word dispel, like I understand when a spell of mine has been dispelled
Yes.
specifically, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I'm like, no, it wasn't damaged. It just dispelled it.
I mean, if I can try, I can't.
I think it's worth it, honestly, because the runes, if the runes are similar enough to the other thing, then probably the magic is
Well,
not good.
Okay.
If it's gonna dispel magic, I'm gonna go pick it
Well,
up.
hold on. Can you
So Ori just
describe-
walks over to him. Is anybody stopping Ori physically?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So Billy kind of puts a hand out and stops your progress.
Can you describe where the stone is in
Dispelling
comparison to
magic,
the
huh?
trap?
Yeah.
We don't
So
know first
in
that
that
that's
game.
all it does.
when the tarp or whatever it was that held these leaves was
Sorry, that
pushed
was weird. I
down with
shouldn't
that
have
stone, the leaves fell down, and about 4 inches down in the actual pit, which is about 25 feet deep, this stone was pressed into the mud, and then the mud looked like it was been kind of like pushed over it. And that was what was glowing. And you could almost get the sense, because there is more glow coming from the other sides of this, so there's more stones as well.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
I thought you meant that there were more just like in existence. I didn't realize that.
I mean, probably that too, but,
Well, no, but
they're
like
in
they're-
existence in very close proximity to that.
you try?
Okay. So
Are you
this
able
is
to?
a trap. It's not meant to hurt something. It's meant to capture it and do something magical to it.
Definitely
Actually-
dispel that trap.
Right.
Dispel
Can you
the
bring up your hand again? Can you just have it go into the trap but not touch the stone? Because I
So you go in, and as
Good
you
idea.
pierce that plane that the stone is in, it dispels.
Okay.
thought
So
so. So this, I think this stone
It's
is
a-
doing an anti-magic field. So if it
so-
catches you, you can't use magic to get out.
yeah. That makes sense.
Just dispel the trap.
Okay. I'm gonna
so-
dispel
Hold on,
the trap.
before you dispel it, I want to pick up the dog and just
Throw him in. No, don't do
like.
that.
It's
Oh.
a 25-foot deep pit.
Well,
But the stone is only like.
It's at the
You're gonna
bottom
drop
of
the dog
pit.
into a 25-foot pit?
You said the stone was only 4 inches below it.
Correct.
Yeah.
You don't have to drop the dog all the way
I'm not
down.
dropping it down. I'm just kind of like.
I actually am
Gently.
100% in favor of this.
I love that.
I.
No. I
I'm
like
just
it.
gonna-
Just make sure that when you do that, that none of your magic items like go past the plane.
Yeah, I'm just gonna hold him and just kind of like have him like go up to the stone, but like. In a way where if this dog is polymorph, maybe it won't be anymore. I don't know.
Yeah,
I
no, it's
don't
a
know.
great
I
idea.
don't
Actually,
think
I love it. Yeah.
I'm still. Yeah. Anyways, does it stay a dog?
It's a great idea. So you pick up this dog, and you bring it over.
Allegedly.
You allegedly pick up this dog.
Dog and
You bring it over to the potential hole, and theoretically, you lower it 4 inches down. And in the realm of the mind where this is potentially happening, the
Okay, Karen.
you lower the dog in, and the dog just kind of is like wagging its tail and just kind of like bobbing around, just happy to be here. And as you lower it in, you can feel the dog's like body language change a little bit, and it kind of turns, and the ears are down. It looks at you a little uncertain. But are you going to continue to lower it down?
I don't know if I can do this. The dog looks upset.
I can't touch it, but the dog can touch it?
I didn't want the dog to touch it either. I wanted no one to touch
I don't
it. I
think
want to
I won't.
dispel the goddamn
okay.
trap.
I
Don't you
think
wanna-
we
I
need
take
to...
the.
Sorry. Just keep doing what you're doing. I don't care.
All right, I'll take. Everyone's looking at me like, why?
I don't think we should. Regardless, I don't think we. Even if we had the knowledge of what this trap does, I don't know if that'll help.
The dog begins to like whine a little bit.
All right, I'll take the dog away.
You put it
Sorry.
down, and it just kind of sits down. The ears go back up, and it looks a little happier now.
What about the tracks?
They lead this way.
I say we follow the tracks after we get rid of this thing.
Fine. Good
I'm gonna-
plan.
I cast dispel magic at 3rd level,
Okay, go ahead and make that roll.
and that is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. With a dirty 20, as you cast this spell, and I want to be real specific about this. How are you casting it?
I kneel next to where the thing is, and
Dispels the magic.
I put my hand, like,
Are you touching the stone or not?
I don't know if I need to.
What's
So,
dispel magic say?
Let me see if it specifies.
I think if it's
Or
an
magical
Just think about
effect within range.
think about this effect.
Right. So I don't think I need to physically touch it. I just need to be one creature, object, or magical effect within range. So it's within range. I don't need to touch it.
Okay.
I will probably be kneeling and just like hovering my hand over the hole
Okay.
because there's more of them. So just roughly where I think the center of the spell is.
Okay. That's how you're going to do it. Okay.
Yeah.
If you dispel magic.
You hold your hand over this, and as you do, there is a bright glow from 3 points, all roughly in the same level of this hole, that form like a ring. And this is exactly where you saw that hand just dispel when it hit. But as you try to cast it on this, and you are certainly correct, this is a ritual. That is not high enough to dispel the entirety of this thing. Make a Arcana check.
Can I
look
cast
of
guidance on
consternation.
myself?
Bardic.
You have Bardic, and yes, you can cast guidance on
Your
yourself.
look
do
of
that.
consternation concerns me with regard to your
Isn't
dispelling
this
of
kind of your
trap.
thing?
I cannot dispel this trap unless I activate
what is
this
Bardic?
trap.
Oh, it's a D8.
The 8. Ooh, okay, so 24.
24. Very nice.
25. I have
Oh.
a +1.
Hey.
Not that stupid.
That's a big +1.
It's a big +1.
Let's change things with species.
That could be a pizza.
It is important. So, Minka, this is not normal kind of magic.
I have like a That's So Raven moment. I'm just like,
Kind of. So, a long, long time ago,
Here we go.
there was an individual who, even before the weave had really developed into fundamental schools of magic that most people know of as like transmutation and evocation, where there was a little bit more of a primal magic. This was past the time of the giants, but really when the weave was still really a new concept. And the first person to invent something called necromancy didn't begin as a necromancer because that didn't exist. But they were an individual known as Cordyceps Rast. And they created a number of rituals that, prior to the existence of the weave, enabled them to effect incredibly powerful magical effects that typically work outside of the normal functionings of the weave. I would say, Minka, you probably haven't heard of any of these rituals specifically. Typically, they begin as the circle of, or I would say that's the most common kind of nomenclature for it. And as a whole, this is a very powerful ritual, but the components themselves a little bit weaker.
Well,
whatever that is, it's more than just this. It's also old, weird magic.
Really old. These stones, you're realizing, at least 1,200 years old. And the magic is that old as well.
Well, if we can't disable it, then we should just avoid it.
and at least we
continue
uncovered it.
moving.
Over 1,000 years.
Oh, wow. And then Alina just kind of quietly says to Billy, like, is that Hex? Like, could that be Hex? Or is it older than them? Not like infant. This is just off to the side.
I don't know.
Billy, one of the hags that you know, one of the ones that is most prominent in your life, in fact, one who really has a unique gift for speaking, told you at a time that there were items that they would love to be in possession of. And items that were touched by a true, what some people refer to as a saint, would be incredibly important for them. They do not possess anything like this. This is something that to them is like a dream. And so who could have an object like that?
Something worse is here. Or at least they're with something worse.
What, something worse?
Worse?
Like 2 covens?
Other covens don't have this.
What is this?
You don't think there's anything to do with like the fracturing?
Oh, of course it does.
Like that kind
I
of
mean,
force?
there's probably a reason why that we were sent here by Hearsome, and everything that revolves around Hearsome seems to have something to do with the fracturing.
It also might be why the champion is no longer the champion. A person blessed by the gods came here, or the Cernuno specifically, and didn't come back.
And then came back, but not in a good way.
No, I mean, like, the waistcoat is somewhere in this forest, right? If the
Right.
champion still had it, or they came into this forest and then didn't come out
Because
So-
of the hags.
because of something.
Or because of whatever set this magic up, which is
Right,
way
so
more
who
advanced
set
than...
this magic up, and what
I
is
don't
it?
know. This isn't hags.
All right.
Are
What
we
they have
leaving it here?
access to. We can't touch it.
So we can't do anything about this, but we can do something about the hags. So we need to keep moving.
Yes.
Why can't we touch it?
Do you want to die?
Do we know that it will kill us if we touch it?
Billy says don't touch it. That means we don't touch it. I agree. It's time to go.
All right.
We
What
need
if-
to
Bending down now, Oakermane will like kneel to your level and say, "If anyone knows what to do with this thing, it will be Jacaranda. We should ask her once we've finished our mission here, but these hags wait. We waste time."
Agreed.
Okay.
All right.
As we walk, we talk.
Yeah. We begin to walk away from this.
Billy, kind of thinks about it a little bit more. They said the hags moved in. Something was here that the hags wanted.
Could
They
it
don't
do?
just show up and take over a place for no
Well, they
reason.
wanted the heartwood.
Hey, Minka.
I think
Yes?
the hardwood was a
Could you
purpose.
do that thing that helps us do things
Well-
sometimes on me real quick? I want to try something.
We're here for an
Guidance?
artifact.
Yeah, that one.
Are you saying that those stones
You
are
have
the
guidance.
artifact?
I take
No.
my beads
I
and I
think
call
as the
Javaris,
artifact,
and I
the
want
hags
to
are-
cast Legend Lore
Okay.
on this object.
Really smart. Finally using the guidance on the legend lore. Okay. So on which object?
The
This was a fun argument,
the
though.
stone.
Or not really arguing,
This-
just figuring.
like this
ritual stone.
this ritual stone, and what? Yeah.
Okay. 1 second.
I make sure I
Gunnar
mention.
said, yeah, you don't have to lower him down. Just put his little paw on it. What's the worst that
Just
could
jam his
happen?
little face right into it.
Yeah. What's the
Listen.
worst that could happen? We destroy an adorable
Have Rez
animal
touch
pet
it.
that we just got.
Courtesy
That would take an
wrap.
hour.
I had some other ideas, but
I'm going to make
But
sure
also,
Minka
he's a
said the
familiar, so
name
he's magical,
Courtesan
so-
Wrath for the weave, like the creature that created necromancy before necromancy existed.
gotcha.
Courtesan Wrath.
And if he gets expelled, I wonder if he gets to come back at all. Don't want to find that out.
Just ceases to exist.
These rituals, Valis, I've heard.
I would like to make a check to.
Go ahead, make your check.
But we're still walking and talking, right? Like,
Courtesan.
we're-
Yeah, of course, yeah.
I'm just gonna hope
following
for a
the-
good
If
roll,
need be,
because if
Minka
this is
will
not a good
grab
roll, then
Valis'
I'm
hand
just
and
gonna
kind of lead
not.
him forward with us.
Courtesan the feller of Rune Hollow. Yes, I've heard much of her. To begin her tale, you must know how the weave was created
Worst podcast ever.
long ago. And he begins to tell you about the tryst between Mistra and between Melora and this like whole wild tale, and just goes off and talks about how when Mistra finally sacrificed her life to end the terror of a massive black dragon that had really dominated the first part of the Third Age, Melora shifted her body into this like tree that still exists in the Sunrest Islands and is purportedly the source of all sorcerous magic. Begins to tell you about this, and this is like probably where you get to like for tonight. He's going off and he's telling you a deep history about where
I don't have
magic
time to
comes from.
listen.
Yeah. And so, you're like, okay, but like, what about, he's like, I'm getting there, Valis. I need to start again. Just, like it's going to take a little bit,
Okay.
but you cast the spell and we'll get there. For the rest of you, you're walking and you're talking. As you make your way, are you going north or west?
Following the tracks that I found north.
Okay.
And they're not slod tracks, are they?
No. They're humanoid. So
Yeah.
so big toe, 4 toes that are smaller than those.
Right.
Can I just confirm? So, a slod is the thing that we fought. Like, that is a slod. And
You have all said that many times.
no. What, okay, I guess what
Has
I'm
Joe
asking
not
is
told us
that
it's a
do
slod?
I know that to be true?
not a
Like, does
slod?
Alina know it to be true, or are we all just making assumptions?
You guys have all been making assumptions.
Okay.
I will say there are very few creatures that cause diseases with their talons and also have control gems, but you have not explicitly been told that it's a slot. No.
Okay.
Okay. Because I wasn't here, I didn't fight the slob. But
Well,
now I
it's-
thought it was a
I
slob.
maybe misinterpreted
Okay.
some of what.
We are making
It is a slumber.
assumptions.
All right.
Wait, what? Oh, so the humans
These are
like,
humanoid
the humans,
tracks.
the players.
The
know.
players know that this is a
I
slumber. You
understand,
guys have
okay.
all correctly put those pieces together.
Okay,
but the
but our
characters have not
characters
explicitly
have-
been told that.
That makes sense.
Okay.
Right.
Following the humanoid tracks that hopefully will lead us in the direction of the hags.
Sure.
Or the hag that is injured. But I'm also going to be, as we're walking, be like, there was a bird back there that was bad. I mentioned it, but no one seemed to care.
I cared.
I'm sorry, there was a what?
The
There
dog.
was a
The
very
dog
strange
mentioned it.
bird. Yeah, the dog mentioned it as well.
Well, oh, sorry, no. I heard Valis when he was talking to the dog say something about a bird.
Right. Yeah,
A mean bird.
yeah. There was. So there, I was trying to say that before there was a bird, and
Were we supposed to do something about it?
well, it was very unnatural, and I think. Can hags turn into birds? Because
You know at least one that can.
Could it have
I'm
been
sure
that-
there's more than one, but yes.
if an injured hag turns into a bird, does it retain the injuries of the hag? Because this bird did not seem injured.
Depends on the mechanism. So, like,
Yeah,
if they're
'cause
using
if
an
it's wild
illusion,
shape,
no.
then,
If they're using wild shape,
I'm fairly certain that
yes. If they're using polymorph, no. If they're using true polymorph, not the items, but the body, yes. And so it really depends on the mechanism.
Billy
I'd
kind
say.
of like squints. It's like,
because
it's a complicated question.
right, I know. So this bird, I'm fairly certain had something to do with the hags.
Probably.
If it could have been the hag, then maybe we've run in the wrong direction this whole time, chasing tracks that are for something else.
Yes. It's possible.
If that's true, we can't help it now.
And for what it's
Did
worth,
what we thought was the right thing in the moment.
you guys
and-
are a couple hours away from really starting to get to the point where you're really going to be feeling this day's adventure. For what it's worth.
We made a choice. Let's
Right.
stick to it. We can't turn around and go back.
And so, Ori, you're going to follow these tracks?
Yeah.
Okay. So you follow Ori, who is following these tracks, kind of largish humanoid tracks. And as you walk, Ori, I would say with your features, you are aware of the fact that you are shifting away from the north. And you are going east. Just a little bit. Still north, but a little bit to the east, kind of winding away. And as you follow this, you recognize that no longer are you kind of like walking straight, but the directionality is changing. When you follow these tracks, you are going wherever they go, which sounds obvious when you say it out loud. But whatever the mist does to twist people around doesn't seem to affect this line. And so following these, you make pretty quick progress through the woods.
It seems like this is a well-traveled path by someone. We're following through the mist at
That can't be good.
faster than usual.
After about 20 minutes goes by, you recognize that there's not just one set of tracks, there's more.
I don't.
You see the Herongon tracks again, rejoining this one. And you
Herongon.
see hooves.
hooves here as well.
Like centaur hooves, or
Very much like centaur hooves. You would recognize them.
certain we've lost her trail.
oh, we saw a centaur before.
You did.
Yeah, and I'm so sorry. Remind me that we didn't like kill that individual, right? Or did we? I don't remember.
Yeah.
They're super dead.
You deaded him.
We have his totem bell.
Oh right.
Herongon, an unknown humanoid,
We have lost their trail.
a centaur.
We are going again where they want us to go.
Right.
That's unusual. That's an unusual group.
If they're all in the service of hags, it's not.
But I mean, Herongon.
Who has a passive perception above 15?
I do.
All three of you, faintly as you are walking now, suddenly smell the littlest tinges of smoke.
God damn it.
What's that mean? What's smoke?
A fire?
Right, but in the context. So yes, they're nearby.
What does it mean, Billy?
If we can smell smoke, we're meant to follow it. We're
Like-
meant to follow these tracks. We're meant to follow everything, which means we're walking exactly where they want us to.
Which is what. Yes. Yes, I agree.
But that also means we're going towards someone who's associated with them at the very least.
Or
we
you have the
might be
highest
able
passive
to-
with 19?
Yes.
As Minka's talking, your stomach growls. And at first you can't quite figure out why, but then you realize underneath that tone of smoke, just now starting to kick in, there is a smell of maybe meat? Maybe rosemary? This is seasoned cooking that you are smelling, and you're almost sure of that. Now, as Ori gets sure of that, the rest of you are kind of beginning to smell this little bit of cooking and more than just a fire.
We need to walk away from it.
Then let's walk away from it.
But
So are we
hear
going
me out
back?
for a moment. If this is a group who's associated with the hags, presumably they would have some idea of the forest, maybe where the hags live.
They wouldn't willingly help us.
No.
So maybe we
You've been
follow
known
them
to persuade
where they're
people
going
in different
and
ways.
They wouldn't be
try
magically
to
able to help us.
stay unseen and trail them.
I'm gonna take a moment and I guess try to insight as to whether or not this is
Make an insight check, yeah.
How far away, roughly, does it smell? Like,
I smell distance.
Like about 110 feet.
I get it though.
as the crow
Like, it's
flies.
I guess I'm
strong.
looking
It smells
Do I
faint.
see-
You don't see smoke.
I don't see
You
smoke.
don't see smoke.
Okay.
that is a dirty 20.
A dirty 20. Minka. You had seen briefly previously the Harengon feet, very light, and they had almost been fading in the kind of mud, and so almost meant to probably be very temporary. These, they're not thick, but this is clearly a trail. And this is the first time that any of you have seen something that you haven't made. And Minka, you're realizing here, since you left that clearing, the mist, though still here, not nearly as thick. And you're getting the sense all of a sudden that you're a little bit behind the scenes at Disney World. There was a point where you walked in a direction that you were not meant to walk, and all of a sudden you walked right off of this hag's map. You are suddenly aware of the fact that you all are just walking through the woods. This is not going to stay that way. They are almost certainly looking for you, and you're aware of the fact that Billy has a spell that's helping right now, but that's temporary.
Guys,
What?
we are out of the plan. Look, the hags don't know where we are.
Then we have to use that.
I think these tracks, they're obvious because they weren't thinking they could be followed. I think this group of people is just camping. This might be a good opportunity.
Do we go and try to ambush them? Or do
At the
we...
very least, they're not expecting us.
Let's do
All
it.
right.
Good call.
I like out of context the idea of this might just be some people camping. Let's ambush them.
Are we the buddy?
Campers? So,
Your taxes help fund our national forest.
oh, we thought it was a holiday. As Minka says this, though, for some of you, especially, I would say Billy, for you, you haven't been just wandering. You know, you haven't been kind of crossing your path like you had been before. You don't feel like you've been led astray the same way that you did when something realized you were marking the trees. This is a different feel. And there's something to what Minka's saying. You know that it's possible to avoid hags. It's really hard to do so for a long time, for what it's worth.
So we'll take advantage of it.
All right. I'll go up ahead, try to get a good vantage.
Stay within eyesight.
Stay within eyesight.
And
I'll
everybody-
give the signal.
Try to be as sneaky as you can.
I'll give you the head count,
Okay.
and I'll count down when I'm gonna make the move.
Okay.
Try to capture one alive at least.
Okay.
All right.
Guidance and balance before we sneak.
Okay.
We're on the material plane, right?
Correct?
In our forest.
Yeah.
Bard's still
advantage.
telling me stuff.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's still going. At this point right
I haven't
now,
caught any of that. I'm
it's
just
like he's
listening
got-
to the bar.
he's saying,
One-
and the
one
soul
earbud.
tree is known to be the cause of all stitch sorcery.
But
Yeah,
surely,
the stitch
I don't know what's
sorcerers are
But-
quite different than most. They have a different origin, you see, from the very stuff. And he just is going.
Minka just cast guidance on you, which surely would at least alert you to the fact that
guidance on
something's-
Valis.
Yeah,
Oh.
for sneaking, which means surely that must have at
Yes,
least got
I
your
see.
attention, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah. You're still like, you're distracted, but you're still able to like
rolled
kind of keep
for
up with what's
guidance.
going on.
Wow, I rolled well.
We think we can actually ambush some people who work for the
They're at
hags.
25.
So we're gonna try to sneak up on them.
Should I do a perception?
No. 25, 9,
21.
21.
A natural 20.
Hey.
Picking up the
Or-
slack for Billy.
A total of 23.
You're right, because groups. Okay.
Can I tell you,
That's why I was like, oh.
Okramain has not rolled on the dice lower than 15 for stealth.
Absolute champion.
Yeah, like
Or a tree.
he gets
kind of
minus
forgot he was
1,
here,
and
honestly.
he's an 18. Yeah, he's very quiet.
Natural 1.
Natural
Do
1.
you want the whole number?
No, it's good because the natural 1 is canceled out by the natural 20. Okramain rolled high, and so even your roll, Billy, puts the average slightly north of 20.
Hey.
You creep up. You can see more of these tracks as you do. And Ori, there's a point where when you're kind of in the lead and going by, you come by a crate that has been kind of pushed up against some rocks and it's open. And you can see there are feathers within it. There are little bits of unfinished arrows, in fact. And so you know fletching supplies. This seems to be some of those. Like the leftover elements of the supplies that are kind of left over from having enough to finish a single arrow. This is just like extra shafts, extra feathers. You don't see any of like the metallic heads or the pieces that you would need to lash them together.
Okay.
But you see some fletching supplies. And you get to a point where it's kind of hard to progress because there's a lot of rocks that kind of block your path. And they do rise up to form elements that would be like a hill, basically. And now make a perception check.
With my sneaking out hidden objects
And you smell now the cooking a little bit stronger. It is almost certainly nearby, but you still don't see smoke.
23.
Okay. It is 10:18. So let me ask you guys, would you like to end with a visual perspective or would you like to see when to start next time?
I want to end with.
I also want to end with it. Yeah.
I like visual perspectives.
Show me what you're working with. Show me what you're working with.
Take your minis off this, please.
I'll take
Yeah, take the tree off.
Want these off?
you.
You can just leave them on. If you want to take the dog, because you brought the dog with you.
My little guy.
We have to protect him with our
We
lives.
had,
Everyone?
yeah. It's funny because like here we are being like,
couple
oh, we
of
should
people
dip
over
him
there.
in the dispel magic hole. We have the spell dispel magic that we can cast it anytime.
Well, not anytime.
Well, yeah, but I'm just saying that later once things like settle and
I
we
was
get to a place
curious.
where
It was
makes
a, it was
sense to
a
fuck around.
freeway, and polymorph is a high spell.
It's a
You have
4th level spell at least, so
Yeah, and isn't true polymorph is 9, right?
yeah. So it would be if I cast dispel magic at the 4th level. If it was a polymorph, it would dispel it. But if it was a true polymorph, I think I might have to roll essentially a natural 20.
Yeah.
Because it would be at minimum 19.
Well, you've been rolling those like fire tonight.
We could ask we could ask Kirsten to help us dispel it. True. For example, yeah, or if we think that it's actually
a true
honestly,
polymorph.
we might
Look at that.
by the time this all is over, we might have just received
Are we
an
coming
answer.
from
Yeah.
here?
Literally, I think
coming
it might
from
just
this
be a
side?
dog.
You are coming from the side that Hannah is on actually this time.
Great.
And you would be coming from roughly the place where that broken tree, yeah, right there, right around there. I would say you guys can enter anywhere from that side of the that table, right on that corner of the board there.
Well, look at all the little
foxes.
Look at all the
And,
forest animals.
Yeah.
He's not
Talk
got
to.
guidance anymore.
Absolutely, there are animals all over the place, and I would say right at this moment,
Now we
Ori,
can see animals.
you looking up and like over the top where the mist has become almost just wisps here. This is clearer than a lot of the other places. This is where all these hoof marks and feet marks go. and you catch sight of something that could almost certainly be the source of those footprints, those large footprints, just a bit larger than a human's. You see a Goliath. They're standing on the very top of this kind of mountain chain,
Put my hand up.
and they are
Stop.
staring down past you, Ori, in the direction of Billy. And because it is 10:20, this is where we're going to end for the evening. You are. You're very sneaky.
Maybe with sound detection.
But this is the thank you very much for joining us for this evening. We will be back next week for a little bit more D&D if you can't wait that long on Sunday. Yeah, make sure that you take good notes, like shoot this guy in the eye.
That's a good note. I'm gonna shoot this guy in the eye.
It's better than roll for sus.
Insight on me, sussy.
Insight on me, sussy. I hate the word sussy. Anyways, we will be back next week. Please stay safe. It is crazy out there. We'll see you then. Goodbye.
Bye.